Yvonne, 8.2 to 16.5 ounce selected varieties Hostess snack cakes, 2 for $6. 3-count box selected varieties Pop Secret microwave popcorn, 2 for $5. 100 to 144.5 liquid or 42-count packs selected varieties Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, $8.99. 9 to 10 ounce selected varieties Green Giant steamed vegetables, 2 for $4.
Let's see. Spices. Cardamom. Hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd, autographed Packers footballs, or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting tonight at 6:10. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9:03, it's 65 degrees. Rain showers moving across the southern portion of the listening area. The rest of the day will be partly cloudy with the high around 80 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. Governor Tony Evers calling a special session today for the Wisconsin State Legislature to address chronic workforce challenges, including initiatives to stabilize the state's child care industry, expand paid family leave, and investing in higher education. Evers proposed making the Child Care Counts program permanent in his 2023-25 biennial budget. Republicans in the legislature decided against it, which means the program would end by next year. One of the big 3 automakers behind the Jeep, Ram, and Chrysler brands has a proposal to close multiple parts distribution centers, including here in Milwaukee. TMJ4's Sean Gallagher reports the proposal would close the Bayview plant, but could reopen an auto manufacturing plant near Rockford.
But the COO says this should not result in any job losses, though the Business Journal is reporting it's uncertain if the employees here in Bayview would gain rights to transfer to those new facilities.
About 100 UAW-represented employees work in warehouse and non-supervisory white-collar positions at the Bayview plant. Kenosha citizens are still seeking accountability for an incident in which officers arrested the wrong couple at an Applebee's back in July. TMJ4 News says a viral smartphone video shows a man was wrestled to the ground, hit repeatedly, and pepper sprayed. Despite mistaken identity, both the man and woman were charged with resisting an officer and disorderly conduct. Community members speaking out at the Police and Fire Commission against the Police and Fire Commission during a meeting.
Everyone on the scene shouldn't be held accountable, but because there's no voice, people are left in the dark. Everyone that's on the scene is being held accountable.
The officers involved in the incident are still employed by Kenosha PD. Chief of Police Patrick Patton says all information will be released to the public once investigations conclude. And 8 Wisconsin schools have been named a Blue Ribbon School for 2023 by the U.S. Department of Education. 4 of those are in southeast Wisconsin, including Brookfield East High School, Willow Glen Primary School in St. Francis, Monroe Elementary School in Janesville, and my elementary alma mater in Evans Elementary in Fond du Lac. Recognition is based on a school's overall academic performance or progress in closing achievement gaps. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still in the green this morning for the major indices. The Dow Jones up 145 points to 34,663. The S&P 500 is up 12 to 4,456. And the NASDAQ is up 15 points this morning to 13,694. It's time for the Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Planning Review. They'll review, assess, and provide strategies you can use. Go to annexwealth.com/taxsmart. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 9:06.
Breakthroughs aren't just for medical journals. They're to help people hold their grandbabies for the first time. Expertise isn't just for awards or recognition. It can be what gives people the best chance to walk again. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, people are the driving force behind everything we do. So we never lose sight of what's important. And we never forget who it's for. Because in the end, we're people helping people. That means every breakthrough, Every clinical study, every interaction is to help people like you, your family, and your neighbors be the best they can be. We do everything possible because we see everything possible in you. To find out how compassion motivates world-class care, visit Freighter.com.
Are you young, hardworking, and sick of living in an overpriced apartment? Or worse yet, your parents' basement? Are you tired of wishing you lived in a bigger place with a backyard for your kids to play? Are you sick of making offers on homes just to watch them slip away? If so, you need to call Speaker Robin Voss at 1-800-362-9472 and thank him for supporting the workforce and senior housing bill package, because help is on the way. In July, $525 million in funding for workforce and senior housing was signed into law, and Speaker Robin Voss's support helped make that happen. These laws will make a difference in putting Wisconsin's housing crisis behind us, developing new housing that Wisconsin's workforce can afford. It's time to thank Speaker Robin Voss. Just like you, everyone wants a backyard too. Paid for by the Wisconsin Realtors Advocacy Fund.
Time for a WTMJ sports update.
The Milwaukee Brewers had 9 total hits, including 4 consecutive doubles in the 4th inning, as they go on to beat the St. Louis Cardinals on Tuesday night by a final score of 7-3.
Ripped and past the lunge of Arenado into the left field corner. It's a doubles party. Around third comes Donaldson. He'll score. To second base, Tyrone Taylor.
It was win number 85 for the Milwaukee Brewers this season, as well as number 700 for manager Craig Counsell. Milwaukee's magic number to clinch the NL Central now sits at 6. Brewers Cards Game 3 of 4 from St. Louis tonight. Coverage getting underway right here on WTMJ beginning at 6:10. The Green Bay Packers will hit the practice field for the first time this week in preparation for their home opener in Week 3 against the undefeated New Orleans Saints. The Packers injury report will be one to keep an eye on as the week goes on, as they get set to face off with the Saints on Sunday afternoon. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. How about this? The slow spot on the roads right now is not, in fact, 43 north or southbound, but it's 94 eastbound. We've got a very slow spot heading from the zoo towards downtown. You'll be tapping the brakes pretty heavy between about 84th Street and Hawley Road. Right now, the drive from the zoo to downtown is 13 minutes. That's an extra 7. The rest of the system's actually looking pretty good.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Showers moving through the area right now. The afternoon could see some partial clearing, a high around 80 degrees. Mostly cloudy overnight, a low of 63. Chance for evening showers on Thursday, a high of 77. Bit cooler in the updated forecast. Remember yesterday we were saying the weekend could get into the 80s. Now Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson saying the temperatures will stay a bit cooler. Low to mid 70s throughout the weekend with a chance for showers and thunderstorms each day, Friday through Sunday. Right now in Madison, it's 65. Green Bay is 63. Waukesha 62. And in Milwaukee, cloudy skies and 65 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 9:10.
Good morning, Wisconsin. It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Come give us your thoughts on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. Now here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Buongiorno to my friends in Italy who are tuning in over the stream. Buongiorno, everybody.
You met people on your vacation who are now international WTMJ fans?
Drivers, tour guides.
Fun.
Yeah, some local restaurateurs.
Well, buongiorno as well from me.
Yeah, so I love the international thing because, boy, traveling, you see so much, you learn so much, you find out about other people, which is probably the best way to ground yourself to experience the lives we live. So just having an understanding what the rest of the world thinks. Mm-hmm. Powerful. We're going to spend some time this morning finding out what you think. I had an interesting debate last night on social media about the Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers. Our team, our franchise, we're the flagship station of the Brewers. First placed Milwaukee Brewers, hopefully heading towards the playoffs.
Magic number 6.
Absolutely. We used to have a big countdown thing at the old studio. We should bring that back where it said 6, 5, 4. And
I can do that on a piece of paper. That's
pretty much what it was. It was cleverly done, but yeah, pretty much. So we're on that countdown now, and good luck to the Brewers. And this, after not making the playoffs last year, this will be a nice little refresh, especially after the Bucks' disappointment last year. So we're going to talk about the Brewers in a really specific sense. Yesterday, you and I spent a lot of time talking about the stadium funding proposal, this time from the GOP. We had the Evers edition earlier a few months ago. And in some interesting comments that some local officials made and Brewer officials made about the parking lots around American Family Field, the stadium area. So I wanted to, we're going to play something in a second from Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson and a representative from the Brewers talking about that issue. But my debate last night on social media was, why don't we at least look at the potential of developing some of those areas in and around the stadium? And it kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say devolved, but I understood pretty quickly there is a love of tailgating when it comes to the Milwaukee Brewers. And there was a lot of keep your hands off my tailgate parking lots. Which I have no intention of blowing that all up, because that is a uniquely Brewers thing.
That's a uniquely Wisconsin thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, really? Packers as well. Yeah. Bucks not so much, but the Packers certainly. I'll be tailgating on Sunday at the Packers game up in Lambeau Field. After a little stint on our partner station 94.5 and do a little broadcast 9 to 10 with some of the other folks from the stations. My first Packers pregame. I'm excited about that. I'll give you more details when I know them. So here's my question to start. We're going to play a little bit of audio in a second. Would you be in favor of developing some of that area around the stadium? We talked about briefly yesterday the stadium district, obviously finding money, right? Finding funds so we can reconcile this massive amount of money that it takes to keep that stadium renovated and repaired, big, heavy roof on top of it that opens and closes, supposedly. So we want to make sure that we are paying for that. Now, I can give you a real quick one. The north lots, just north of 94. It's probably utilized less than the other lots. It's sitting there. You drive by 94 West, you see it to the right, nestled next to the little spur.
As you walk up that hill to Blue Mound.
Yes, exactly.
Or drive.
I could easily see that being sold into a office tower, mixed retail, all kinds of different uses. That would seem like an easy one. Here's what some of the electeds and leaders had to say about some of these parking lot ideas.
A sea of parking. The Brewers should really consider, and we should really use this conversation to push them to have development around American Family Field.
But Brewers President Rick Schlesinger isn't sold on the idea to convert their roughly 12,000 parking spaces into development.
I'm very sensitive to real estate development that would encroach upon our culture of tailgating. Having said that, are there opportunities in the future to look at it? For sure. What those could look like, I'm not sure.
Thanks to our partners at TMJ4 for that audio. So here's the question. The vast parking lots around American Family Field have long been a welcoming site for tailgating Brewers fans, right? Come on in. Get your grill set up, all kinds of elaborate tailgate parties. I've been a part of all of that. I was a part of that at the old county stadium as well. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Often that was the only way to warm up.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were getting in that stadium, you were going to be as cold could
May
be.
as well stand close to the Smoky Joe.
Right.
Yeah. People playing bags, all the good stuff.
Yes. So would you support? Here's the big question for all of you, 855-616-1620 on the Old National Bank talk and text line. Would you support reducing the number of parking lots? I gave an example, the north lot there, north of 94, or paying a small fee. This is where it really gets touchy. A small fee for the right to tailgates, whether that's specific lots or the use of a grill would be a small charge. If it meant, you can go two ways with this, keeping the Brewers, and that's an open-ended question because you never really know what the future is going to hold, or at least extending that lease out beyond 2034, 2050, 2075, whatever it is. What would you be willing to do? 855-616-1620. I gave you a few choices. Yes, of course. Right now, the leader on the course at almost 50%. No, we pay enough. Depends how much. Those are the questions we're asking you today. Would you support that? And I'd love to hear from those diehard tailgaters. I know it's a protected right of passage when you're a Brewers fan or a Packers fan. You want that right to tailgate. But if it helps the team helps the district, helps the city of Milwaukee and the county of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin keep this team here, why wouldn't we? That's the question. Join us. Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Your way inside the huddle.
Hut one, hut two.
Without putting on any pads.
Hike.
It's Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
No one's going to feel sorry for you. Matt LaFleur likes to tell us that all the time. No one's going to say, oh, well, these poor guys, they have all these rookies. We're going to take it easy on them. Nobody's going to do that.
Every day of the regular season at 4:15. It's Green and Gold Insiders all season long, right here on WTMJ.
Good morning, I'm Sandy Maxx, and for a while I've been telling you about my friends at 3 Pillars in Lake Country and their beautiful wooded campus. Imagine 300 acres of serenity and safety along the Bark River, getting to be autumn. The fall colors are going to be spectacular. What a setting for your retirement. And now they're expanding, taking reservations for new high-end active adult residences. Amenities, oh yeah, a supper club, a spa to relax in, a pub, a dog park to watch your puppies frolic, theater, fitness center, and more. You got a spa and a supper club. That is the kind of place I want to live. And with 4 resident styles to choose from and all those amenities, there really is nothing else like it in Wisconsin. 2025 is when they're going to open. They're almost 50% reserved. You still have time to get in on their priority list. See for yourself online at 3pillars.org.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. Patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there is no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hip, shoulder, or back, you have to give a call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Imagine this fall, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, like walking, hiking, and playing with the grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started, and they're right here in Milwaukee. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474.
Debbie Lozica here. I've been wanting to shade in my backyard for years, and now that dream is coming true thanks to my friends at Comfort Awnings located in Burlington. It's a local family-owned company that provides expert installation servicing southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They came out to my house and walked me through the process, from different colors and fabrics, custom fit to my home's exterior and backyard. Right now, you can receive $250 off awnings and screens until the end of September. Call 414-AWNINGS for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
Brew October on WTMJ is presented by Network Health, Delta Dental, and Annex Wealth Management. WTMJ Now.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Joining us live, whether it's on the radio or on the stream. Shout out to all those folks watching the stream. You can catch all of our shows, our special interviews, including that awesome, I've overused the term, but he was awesome, Gary Sinise yesterday. Brilliant man, humanitarian beyond anything else. His work for veterans, wounded veterans, and that great event at the Skylight Theater this weekend is an example of that.
WTMJ.com, you can catch up on the podcasts, and that's where you can audio stream and video stream.
And if you want to hear the interview, text the word Gary to 855-616-1620, the old National Bank talk and text line. It's worth the listen. He was amazing. All right, so I'm asking the question. I'm going to kind of simplify it. Here's the question, another way to look at this. Do the Brewers care more about tailgating than the economic development around the stadium? That's a potential, of course, because we don't know what would happen. Here's another little tidbit. Dazzling detail, if you were. AmFam has twice the parking lot space as Lambeau Field, although Lambeau Field's attendance is almost double what AmFam's is.
Isn't Lambeau 4,000, something like that?
It's small. It gets smaller every year because they keep using it for other things.
But arguably they also have Title Town, so they have exactly the development that I compared yesterday. In August, just last month, I went to Wrigley Field for the first time in years since their major renovations, and I was talking with a friend of mine at a concert there that across the street at the Metro, and he was reminding me that all of that development that Chicago Cubs did outside Wrigley Field, all the revenue generated, they get to keep.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, there'd be a big financial incentive to adapt even a portion of one of the parking lots to some sort of supplemental recreational place that would create additional revenue and be more of a social place. I think it's ambitious to think that it would be a Deer District type, because Deer District is walkable. It's in the city. You're right across the street from hotels. Like, that is a very smart and special space there. It's
Every one
efficient.
every one of these things is different, right? They're all unique in their own way.
But it does seem like there would be an incentive to have some sort of social recreational space, food and beverage, in that immediate area that the brewers would directly benefit from financially.
Yeah. If the question is, we need more money, or how do we get more money, this seems to be one of the ones. And I did get the sense that they were at least leaning in that direction. I got a great text from Scott in Greendale. Does it have to be all or nothing? I don't think so. There are a lot of great venues across the country in all different sporting genres that have room for both tailgating and something a little different. I think there's room for both the brightness of our local developers would be sure to maintain the space for the traditional tailgating experience, and a new sit-down option for those that don't want to bring down the grills and supplies. Tailgating is fun, but like anything, it can get old. It's nice to mix things up a bit. I am not a fan, in any sense, this conversation, of the status quo. I don't like the status quo. Change is a good thing. Tradition's important, I get it. But just sitting there and saying, this is the way we always did it, is a dumb answer to anything. You have to innovate and be willing to look forward, especially when you talk about finances.
That would be kind of interesting if you had a shed or like a pavilion where you drove up, rented the Smoky Joe and all that sort of thing. You'd still bring your own cooler full of beverages and your own bags, but in your own pop-up tent. But yeah, you just go up and rent a griller and maybe some other accoutrements, maybe rent a table. So like all those things, like if you didn't have to pack quite as much in your smaller car, but you could still tailgate.
Yeah, tailgating VIP section.
That would be interesting.
And how much would you pay for that? I don't know, $20. The grill's there, the picnic table's there. It's like a twice the size parking lot that you pull in, parking spot I should say, and then you can just roll in there and start unpacking your stuff, and it's all there for you. What would you pay for that? That's another question.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's done it because tailgating is so uniquely Wisconsin.
It is one
something
of our
for us to be
traits.
proud of.
Yeah, and I love tailgating. I don't want anybody to think I'm an anti-tailgater.
Oh, no. I would be interested, especially as the Brewers are doing so well, first place this backstretch of September with drone photography and aerial photography. Can we see, maybe I'm wrong, maybe every single one of those 12,000 parking spots is completely taken up and there really isn't the ability to develop in a smart way. But if there are empty spaces, especially these last 2 weeks where I would think people are interested in cheering on our first place Brewers, could be illustrative.
Yeah. What about the Bucks example? They went with a parking structure. I've been in that for Bucks games. Very efficient in and outs because they have staff working to get you in and out. Very, very efficient. Could you take one of those lots and have a parking structure versus just surface lots?
But you wouldn't tailgate it.
You can't tailgate
obviously.
it.
Yeah.
So that would only be one spot. But they have, I mean, if you see the aerial shot of American Family Field, that district, there's a lot of space.
Wide open. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is somewhat stunning. And I use the Lambeau comparison. It's not apples to apples, but it's certainly illustrative, as you said, of that point that could there be something that's different when we talk about these venues? And if we're going to be told we have to ante up to keep this team to 2050 or beyond, I would expect the Brewers organization. I have mad respect for everything they do because they've pulled the trigger on so many great decisions and investments in players and the team. I'm going to put full faith in them. Is it unrealistic to expect that they'd at least be willing to look at some of these options? And I think they have to, given all the variables now with sports, right? No guarantees. You have to be thinking in the future. And I know we love tradition in Wisconsin. I know we love tailgating. I do too. But let's think outside the box. We have a lot of space. Maybe utilize some of these spaces in a different way. Love to hear from you, 855-616-1620. There was a quick text I just saw pop up from the 414. There was talk that once Komatsu moved from Miller Parkway to the lakefront area that the site was going to be developed to a Deer District area. That's still on the table as far as I know. That would be, southeast a little bit from the stadium?
I know that in that Menominee Valley, though, the heavy industrial zoning is important. So I think if Komatsu is already, I think that would be a big ask to change that zoning. But I also think there is a caveat that if you have property on that waterfront, that can more easily change the zoning.
You made this point yesterday, I think. Think about Harley, Potawatomi, to the Brewers. That little valley river area, that is ripe for almost a walkway. It'd be a long walk. It's 2 miles. But think about the possibilities. Now, zoning might have to change. Use and restrictions would have to change. There's a waterway there. There's certainly a freeway just north. How could you utilize in the best possible way? Let's hear from you, 855-616-1620. Quick break. WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. We're building something in Milwaukee, and this year is going to be one hell of a monster.
It's alive! This is
This is the Hunt for Brew October on WTMJ, presented by Network Health, Delta Dental, and Annex Wealth Management.
I just learned Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned. Doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey! Summer painting can be brutal. If you're tired of painting year after year, go Rhino. One homeowner said they had a contemporary stucco finish with fading paint that was starting to look like garbage. So they went with Rhino Shield after discovering it's better than paint. Thanks to Rhino Shield, they saw savings on their energy bills. And your home's exterior doesn't matter. Wood, brick, steel, and even vinyl. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 25% off if you call by the 25th. And it doesn't stop there. Rhino Shield remains backed by a 25-year warranty. Call 262-900-4055 or visit rhinoshieldwis.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield. What's the way to build your wealth?
While going over a new client's statements from one of the big financial firms, I was floored when I read that firm does not offer tax or estate planning advice, because we know that saving money for our clients on their taxes, legally and well within the law, can make a huge difference in their financial plan. If you want to wisely build your wealth, it is my firm opinion that without a comprehensive approach, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. At Financial Strategies, Inc., we're taking a deep dive and creating comprehensive strategies that develop your retirement, investment, and your tax and estate planning. And all under a fee-only structure that means the success we care about most is yours. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to FinancialStrategiesInc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
It's WTMJ Now.
Whenever you talk about tailgating, everybody gets fired up.
I know. Mark and Hale's Corners, thank you for your text on the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. Being schooled that tailgating is not unique to Wisconsin. I still feel like it's a pride point here, though, but made the point that Kansas City Chief games, Alabama football games, lots of tailgating. And I believe that. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
We started it. I'll take credit for that. I'm kidding. I won't take credit for that. But it certainly is part of the social fun and part of the culture that even if you don't tailgate, it is so fun walking through the parking lots and seeing people enjoying each other and cranking the music and throwing the bags and just kicking back and sharing. Oh, you have brats. Hey, you haven't had my aunt's chili. That
the
whole
smell
communal.
Of a parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Now, again, the exaggerating, I don't care about any of that stuff. Here's the reality. It's a big cultural tradition in the state of Wisconsin to tailgates. That's part of the fun. I've been doing it since the 70s. Brewers, County Stadium, Lambeau Field.
But the question is there room to preserve a strong tailgating culture at American Family Field, yet also possibly adapt some of those parking spots
ding, ding,
into
ding.
something that would be more of a beer district? Is the charming phrase.
Make it better. Enhance
and
it.
create even more revenue than the $20 per spot.
There's that revenue stream that helps us get past this stumble here where we're trying to figure out how are we going to do this? How are we going to keep this team here? And I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. We cannot lose this team because Milwaukee already lost the baseball team once. Remember the Braves? You don't want to have that happen again. That's a death sentence in many ways for sports and all the things that trickle down from the sports franchise in a major league city. We do not want to see that again.
And an empty stadium right there, right off I-94. And how long has it taken to get Northridge knocked down? How long would it take to get this knocked down? Good Lord.
Think about that. Ann joins us first up on the phones. Hi, Ann from South Milwaukee.
Hi.
How are you?
My thoughts were, and my Brewers cred is that my dad took me to see Hank Aaron at the old county stadium. So
love that.
That's cred.
That was a high. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think there's more than enough room to develop a Brewers district and preserve the sacred tailgating. Okay. The Deer District is so much fun that Rick Schlesinger should talk to whoever he needs to at the Bucks because they did everything right to sell it, and the Brewers do not, in my opinion.
Love the honesty there, Ann, and I completely agree. Look at the Bucks. That example, they started from nothing, right? They didn't even have a ballpark originally. They said, let's take the freeway down. Let's put Fiserv Forum there. Let's build this district around it. And I didn't play this part from the piece from TMJ for our partners, but they were talking to fans, business people who take their clients to that area when the Bucks aren't playing. Those bars, those restaurants. I mean, I'm a big fan of Carson's, which is like a block from Fiserv. I love those places. That's the reality for the Brewers. Look, I get it. It's hard for people. I love the fact that you're passionate about the Brewers. I am too. Nothing would make me happier. This city would go nuts if the Brewers won a World Series. It would be unbelievable. I mean, I was part of the 82 run. That was incredible, and we were so disappointed when they lost. If they won a World Series, this town, this state would go crazy, and it's long past overdue. Mary from Franklin says this. Here's a thought. What about protecting versus threatening tailgating by designating a certain lot for those interested in tradition and using some of the other lots for development of a district? That's what I'm talking about. Protect as many spaces as you can. Maybe you stack some cars up in a parking structure. I think that's perfectly logical with enough attendance to make sure they go in and out smoothly. But we have to start thinking about the future. I'm not a fan of the status quo. I don't like the argument that's how we always did it. I hate that argument. And as somebody who not only led a city but developed a city, brought them into the future, which still continues to this day, I think that's an important thing to think about. Lots of text. Jim from Economowoc, get my mouse working here. Had to look it up. Hellfire Field in the parking lot generates little to no income and is used by perhaps 0.01% of attendees. You know what the significance of Hellfire Field is? That's where County Stadium was, for the most part. The home plate is the home plate. That's the significance. Now, I've actually played on that field. I
have too.
Company outings before I was a mayor. We would rent that, and we had a blast playing there.
I love tying in the history of home plate and home plate of County Stadium, but this is also, I think, fulfilling the Brewers Community Fund, the foundation where they want to make baseball accessible to people and include the community. So I think it fulfills that aspect of the Brewers' charitable arm as well.
Now, I don't want to blow up tailgating, and Diane makes a great point on the old National Bank talk and text line. Tailgate is also an economic boom for stores. Go to any store before a Brewers game, and there are people in line with their Brewer gear, buying snacks, brats, beer, all true. Brewers cupcakes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the
nuts that are packaged in the Brewers logo. Yeah.
And I might be wrong on this, but I think they still let you bring in your own peanuts if you want to, which I always thought was amazing. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the rules. I don't want to blow up tailgating. I want it to be enhanced. And if we were talking about that enhanced VIP section, make it easy for folks. Maybe everyone doesn't want to haul a big Weber grill into the parking lot. Maybe you have grills set up. Maybe that's safer. Maybe you can control some of that, because you and I have walked through the parking lot at American Family Field. There's grills like right next to the gas tanks after. Come on, people. What are you doing there? That is not smart. So don't do that. What do you think? 855-616-1620. We'll spend a little more time, if you would like, on the Brewers question. Can they develop that area, that parking lot, those parking lots, to enhance the experience? not get rid of it. And obviously, there's so many moving pieces here. What's going to happen with the Spurs, right? Take that down. All those being discussed. 94 being expanded. What will happen with that? The future of this team. Right now, current proposal, GOP, lots of pieces. I told you yesterday, I love the fact that this could be a 365-day venture, heated up. I think I saw that one of the Brewers leaders said that it was only like a $25 million expense to warm it up.
I believe it was 25 to 30 million.
Sign me up.
Is what the proposed expense to winterize it.
Would that be a bargain? I think so.
It certainly seems like that would be a good return on investment. If you're expanding those, let's say, November through April to book more concerts, more sporting events.
Everything.
And maybe even a unique convention gathering space. So it certainly makes sense, I would guess, business-wise, if you could book even 2 events per month.
Think about the companies we have
times.
here. Milwaukee Tool, Northwestern. The list is endless. We have a lot of great Harley. You don't think they would rent out that space in the wintertime for one of their annual gatherings or a big sales meeting or just hyping up their employees? Absolutely. Right now, it sits vacant. For how many months? 5 months? 6 months? I know they're working on the field. I get all that stuff, but there's ways to do things. What do you think? 855-616-1620. That is the old National Bank talk and text line. Let's keep the Brewers here as long as we can, as long as that makes sense fiscally for this community, county, city, Brewers, and all the fans. I don't want to blow up tailgating, but I want to enhance that experience, and I want it to make sense financially for the partners that have to win that argument. They can't be in deficit situations. And as I said before, change is inevitable. How you change is the big question. Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Sharpen your investment and retirement strategy at the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? And what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets takes place in Mequon September 26th and Brookfield October 5th. These premier events are open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. The American economy is at a critical juncture. What's next? Join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management.
Get ready. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale September 22nd. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets at brewers.com/postseason.
There's a reason why we install Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your reputation is on the line, you pick the brand you can trust. It's like our employees. You pick the best to preserve your good name. A guy like me that's been working on furnaces and AC systems for over half my life. I got an eye for the good stuff. And Armstrong Air Pro Series systems fit the bill. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you need a good crew installing a system you can rely on, see the man in the red van.
Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Emergency service 24/7. Quality Heating has 25 trucks ready to work around the clock to get out there quickly to solve your heating or AC problem. So when that system goes on the fritz and you want to avoid that sweaty summer heat or bypass the fear of frozen feet, the man in the red van can't be beat when it comes to prompt, reliable service. Call Quality Heating for any emergency HVAC need.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
WTMJ Now is back to take your calls.
And that's just what we're going to do. What a happy song. Where did that come from?
The musical mind of producer Charlie.
Yes.
I'm Sandy, Maxx, Steve Scaffidi on the possibilities of the new stadium funding.
Yeah, figuring it out. How do we get there? How do we get the best possible product for fans, team, city, county, state? Dennis joins us from Sussex. Welcome to the show, Dennis. Good morning.
Thanks for taking my call today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm going to be using this term right. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've created kind of a false syllogism here when we start to compare the Bucks to the Brewers with regards to their stadium situations. I don't recall anybody ever tailgating for a Bucks game. number one. Okay. Number two, being downtown, close to Water Street and all the other bars down in that area, it was natural for them to develop that Deer District the way they did, and especially in conjunction with all the different restaurants that were down there. That makes a lot of sense. That's essentially why that is really flourishing, because it all feeds off of one another. It's good for all of the businesses down there, not just ones that popped up with the Deer District. I think what the Brewers are doing, and it sounded like in one of the last couple of days in one of the interviews that I heard, it sounds like the Brewers are keeping their powder dry. And somebody alluded to this a little earlier in one of your calls or texts about the Komatsu situation there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're waiting, and it was also mentioned too how the changes on the freeway, are going to be coming through there as well. That's going to change the configuration of some of those, parking lots. Number one. Number two, I think they want to see what's going to be available with that Komatsu and what they might be able to do. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen then. Hotels, restaurants, and again, that can flow over back toward the stadium. But to put it right down next to the stadium, it kind of becomes a fish out of water. I mean, yeah, you can go down there, for a drink, and you go down there for a meal or whatever, but you're still heckin' gone from everything else. There's really no other reason to go down there except for that specific purpose at that one-shot time, whatever. I don't know.
I love the comments, Dennis. I'll let you hang up and listen to my comments about what you just said. I'm sure Sandy will weigh in as well. Look, right now, it's just a sea of parking lots. So there really is no comparison between that and the Deer District. But the Deer District was a blank slate at one point, right? And then we got Fiserv Forum and things built around it. And obviously location's much different. And I do agree with him because of the changes that would be coming with the freeway system, businesses relocating out of that area, whatever happens between there and in the space between there and Harley. All these things are going to be changing. And I do think the Brewers should exercise caution. All I want from the Brewers in this conversation right now is we're willing to think about these things. Now, the Brewers, as a leasee from the Stadium District, have a lot of power, and they know they do. They get that parking revenue. So why would you give it up? The only way you're going to give it up is if you get something for it. And if that gets something for it is more revenue, more excitement in the area, then that is an easy way to make that decision. So none of this is easy. All I know is when I drive to that area, I see parking lots when the Brewers aren't playing. It seems like a waste to me. And I would literally take that north lot, which sits so many times north of 94. That would be an office building to me, a big, bright-looking office building right close to downtown, right across the street, basically right across the freeway system from the ballpark. Makes so much sense. And you can sell that. And you can make money on that. And whatever that piece is, that's part of a larger puzzle that makes the sense that we need to make, sense with the line through it, dollars and cents, to make this all work. Bottom line is we're trying to figure this out. And if we're not willing to at least think about the opportunities, the options, just because we love the way it is, I think is sort of losing the argument at the beginning. You have to start thinking about these things. I don't want the Brewers to leave. I don't think you want the Brewers to leave, and I love tailgating. I'll do it Sunday. I'm going to be at like 3 different tailgates because I love it so much. I'll probably eat way too many brats.
But you'll be strolling. You'll be walking.
Oh, yeah, we'll be walking, exercising my legs, yes. And after Italy, I do need to walk more. So it'll be a question, but this is something we have to think about. I love the comments, Dennis.
And Dennis, you are correct, in my opinion, that, the Deer District has all of that within walking distance. And that's why, because you can pop from Drink Wisconsin Blee over to Fat Tuesdays, over to Good City. That certainly is in the Mecca. You've got all of those within walking distance, whereas it's going to take real development for a beer district outside the stadium. You'll have to drive to it or get a shuttle or get a lift. It would be more of an effort, and it wouldn't be a scene just yet. It would take some years to develop that. But I think it's missing the mark to not explore a creative solution to continue to evolve that space around the ballpark.
Yeah, think about it from the perspective of ease of getting to something. I've been critical in the past. It's one thing to have these extra things in the ballpark, but it's a kind of a chore to go, get off, park in the parking lot, walk all the way into the stadium to go to a restaurant or go to the golf facility that they've opened up there. Imagine a scenario where the golf thing was off the stadium property proper and was on one of the freeway locations or that north lots. Much different scenario. Now you're talking about having more space for the ballpark for other things. Maybe that's an expansion of your pro shop or whatever you want to do, more things you make money on. And you've also opened up a commercial opportunity for somebody else to make money on. Doesn't have to be a golf facility, could be a retail or whatever. I think the best way to look at any of these large properties, and somebody could probably text me and I can look it up during the break, what the actual area size is by acre of that entire parking lot stadium property. It's, I'm guessing 30, but I don't know. Something will correct, probably bigger than that. Let's say 60. But the best way that I could say to look at that from a local leader perspective, former, albeit, is to mix use that site. So we could have some retail, we could have commercial, we could have office, we could have all kinds of things while still protecting the tailgate experience. And to that point that one of the earlier texters or callers made, and you made, an enhanced tailgate area where you could charge more for the right to not have to bring a grill in, to have a picnic table. Who wouldn't pay more for that?
I like that idea.
I do. That's brilliant.
265 acres is the overall site,
okay, I was
according
way
to
off.
MLB.com.
That shows you how bad I am measuring proper. 265 acres. That's a big chunk. I must be thinking about just the one piece on the north side there. Rick from Thiensville, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Rick.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, I got an alternate thought on building up around the ballpark and so on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you measure the impact of all of these new opportunities that would be built at the stadium against all of the shuttles and bars and restaurants that now run into the stadium every night? If you build all of this up right around the stadium, that's going to have a major impact of everything on Blue Mound and everywhere else, wouldn't it?
It's a great question, Rick, and thanks for taking the time to call and listen to the show. Look, there's always impact. I don't know what the impact is because we don't have that reality yet. But for the bars on Blue Mound, I do want to protect them. I would give them a way to capitalize on some element of this expanded economic development area. I don't want to see the shuttles discontinue. And here's what I know about Wisconsinites. They love their local bars. They always have. They always will. They're not going to just shun them because there's a new fancy place at American Family Field. They're not going to just say goodbye to them. There's some great bars in Blue Mound. I just was at one a few months ago before a Brewers game. That's the allure, figuring it out. That means for even the little guys, little girls, if you own a business, it's a bar, it's on Blue Mound or somewhere around the stadium area. What are you going to do? How are you going to update? How are you going to renovate your place? How are you going to meet that demand of a new consumer of sports? That's on you. Maybe you have to make your experience at your location even better. Maybe it's not the traditional drink, hop in a shuttle, go to the ball game. Maybe it's something else. That's the innovation part of this. I hate the status quo. I said it a number of times today. That's all part of this conversation. Let's squeeze in James quickly on the Old National Bank Talk and Text line. Hi, James.
How you doing there?
Good.
I'm in favor of with the tailgate and everything else, but you look at it's apples to oranges type of thing. All the stuff you don't hear about at Pfizer downtown there, you go to the games and stuff, is how many cars are broken in, how much crime is around there that they don't want to report because they don't want to push the people away and saying, oh, you can't do this, can't do that. You don't have no crime around Miller Park down there. You don't have nobody with tailgating and everything else and stuff like that. I think that safety is one reason. I think that people like to go to Miller Park compared to going out to the Deer District. I mean, and you can probably, how do you say the word, do modernization around there slowly but surely and still enjoy it. I think people that's why people go down to baseball games and stuff like that.
So you think it's safer, James? Do you think it's a safer environment than the Deer District? Is that the general?
Well, yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay.
You don't hear none of that stuff happening there compared to what downtown with the Bucks games and stuff. Cars getting broken in, stolen, and everything else every time and stuff like that. I mean, people at both venues want to have fun.
I agree with you, James. They want to have fun. Thanks for the call. Look, I'll say this. The crime thing is an interesting topic, whatever you're talking about, whether it's the Brewers, Bucks, just the city in general. Bottom line is we have to figure it out. If you have crime at the Deer District, figure it out. If you have crime at American Family Field and Stadium District, figure it out. If you have crime in the cities and communities around Milwaukee, figure it out. I don't want that to be the pushback for not trying to figure out what the future of this franchise is. You got to figure all this stuff out. That's using your brain, using your gray matter to actually troubleshoot the problems. I don't know off the top of my head if it's safer at the parking lots of American Family Field versus Deer District. I have no idea. Something we can search, I'm sure. And I'm sure that Annie Swartz, when she joins us next Wednesday after a great trip, which in New Zealand?
International Police Convention of Police Women.
Yeah, that's a great question we can pitch to Annie because she's, trust me, tuned into policing in our area. It's an interesting topic. I don't know if we're going to get to a solution on that one, but my overall suggestion to anyone who wants to use crime as the barrier, figure it out. I know this. I didn't ask Steve anything on my trip on the bus on the way to one of our places. Fascinating. And the crime question came up. And I always say, it's a complex problem, but you got to figure it out. You want to do these things. You want to have a city that's marketable. You want to have an area that's safe. You got to figure it out. We'll take a break here. Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved, but here you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I've told you about it. Snoring issues, tossing and turning, lots of restless nights of sleep. That does not have to be your concern. I did something about it. I went to Advent, one of their great facilities, talked to their docs. Did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. To put it simply, my nose wasn't working properly. I wasn't getting enough air. They put me at ease. After the simple sleep study, they determined my problems, sinuses, nasal passages, and my breathing triangle. Matter of fact, I met some folks on my listener trip who also had Advent, and they said, swear by it, it's the best. Sleeping better than ever. That could be your story as well. After a short procedure, I am breathing better than ever, sleeping through the whole night. My wife, Kathy, is so appreciative because I used to wake her up when I snored. Nobody wants that headache. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com and schedule an appointment today. Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
As daylight hours decrease, crashes involving people driving and people biking or walking increase. Turn your lights on, slow down, and look around to help reduce nighttime crashes. Let's make sure everyone, no matter how they travel, gets home safe. Learn more at wisconsinbikefed.org.
Are you young, hardworking, and sick of living in an overpriced apartment? Or worse yet, your parents' basement? Are you tired of wishing you lived in a bigger place with a backyard for your kids to play? Are you sick of making offers on homes just to watch them slip away? If so, you need to call Speaker Robin Voss at 1-800-362-9472 and thank him for supporting the workforce and senior housing bill package, because help is on the way. In July, $525 million in funding for workforce and senior housing was signed into law, and Speaker Robin Voss's support helped make that happen. These laws will make a difference in putting Wisconsin's housing crisis behind us, developing new housing that Wisconsin's workforce can afford. It's time to thank Speaker Robin Voss. Just like you, everyone wants a backyard too. Paid for by the Wisconsin Realtors Advocacy Fund.
It's WTMJ Now.
While it goes with the passion.
Good morning, I'm Sandy Maxx, Steve Scaffidi, WTMJ Now. News, Opinions, Wisconsin, and just had a hearty discussion about trying to help
passionate, love it,
preserve tailgating while evolving the stadium, as stadium funding is a hot topic. And now you're hearing the sounds of a band called Barbaro vocals, songwriter, and guitarist Kyle Shelstad is from Cedarburg, and they're going to be back in Wisconsin at the Cedarburg Performing Arts Center next Friday, September 29th. And as you can hear, it's pretty cool kind of music. And if you would like to be there at the Barbaro concert, got your chance to win a pair of tickets right now for that September 29th show at the Cedarburg PAC. Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Steve, what number should we?
Let's go with lucky number 7 today.
Lucky number 7. This is a quartet of Minneapolis-based musicians, but like I said, Kyle's from Cedarburg. They have a new album coming out, and they had a 2020 album called Dressed in Roses. Bluegrass, jazz, chamber music, all kind of mixed in there. A good night of music. So caller 7, 855-616-1620. Good luck. WTMJ News is next.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me Saturdays at noon for one of my favorite shows. It's Experience Wisconsin. We'll check in with communities and organizations from across the state for the best and brightest, most fun family spots in Wisconsin. This week, we are joined by Lake Geneva and Milwaukee Food and City Tours. Going to be fun. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturday at noon, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Hi, I'm John McGivern. If you're looking for a Medicare plan with freedom and flexibility, choose a Network Health Medicare Advantage plan. Plans start as low as $0 a month with $0 doctor visits and $0 prescription drugs, plus vision, hearing, and dental benefits. For 40 years, Network Health has been a trusted expert in making health insurance affordable and understandable. Don't wait. Call 833-7-NETWORK today.
It's David Nason from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show, here with Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Hi, Chris.
Hey, David. Courage, honor, and integrity. That is what I brought over to Accurate Basement Repair Team following my 25 years of proud service as a Milwaukee firefighter. This is the same foundation that Accurate is built on.
As a home inspector, I trust Accurate Basement Repair for all your basement and waterproofing needs. They're not just good, they're accurate. Learn more at AccurateBasementRepair.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Family owned, family operated, family values. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Get ready. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale September 22nd. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets at brewers.com/postseason.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. I've had chiropractic care on and off my entire adult life. I can tell you Dr. Alex and his team at Connect Chiropractic do it different. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. At Connect Chiropractic, they use a special tool for adjustments focused on restoring nerve and muscle function. It's not just making your neck and back feel better, although mine already do. Connect Chiropractic can help with headaches, sciatica, vertigo, and more. Schedule an appointment now at GoConnectChiro.com. Tell them Vinny sent you. GoConnectChiro.com.
You got to get to Built Right today for affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses. Built Right.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting tonight at 6:10. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 10:02, 68 degrees. The high today, 80. We're getting there. Rain rolling through some areas of southeast Wisconsin. Going to be sunny later on. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstad. Nothing doing in Madison today, where Governor Evers is calling a special session for the state legislature. The call to address chronic workforce challenges. The governor wants to include some initiatives to stabilize the state's child care industry and expand paid family leave. Now, the governor's plans have been rejected by Republicans in the past, expected to happen again today. In Washington,
our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient.
Attorney General Merrick Garland appearing before the House Judiciary Committee this hour. House Republicans starting their impeachment inquiry in the coming days.
The Judiciary Committee is one of 3 committees leading investigations into President Biden and his son Hunter. The Attorney General is making his first appearance before that committee, led by Ohio Republican Jim Jordan, who has often described the Department of Justice as the Biden Justice Department. But in prepared remarks, Merrick Garland will say he does not take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate. He will also say, I am not the president's lawyer. I will also add that I am not Congress's prosecutor. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Vaccination season is upon us.
President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, Dr. John Raymond, says the flu shot will provide strong protection this year.
Flu circulates in the southern hemisphere a few months earlier than it does in the northern hemisphere, and we can usually get clues about what may come here to the U.S.
And the latest COVID vaccine is now available.
It's been reformulated. They modified the RNA sequence so that it matches the currently circulating strains of COVID-19, so it's been updated.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
For 12 hours today, the Milwaukee Diaper Mission collecting donations at the Medical College of Wisconsin. The drive happening during National Diaper Need Awareness Week. Executive Director Megan Johnson tells TMJ4 News the need for diapers nationwide has arguably never been greater.
The pandemic, inflation, there are a lot of different reasons that diaper need has skyrocketed for the United States and for our community specifically.
About 1 in 2 families in the U.S. struggle to afford diapers. You can get more information. Just text the word diaper to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. Heads up, Packers fans. The team asking fans attending games this year to update to the latest version of the Packers mobile app before Sunday. Ticket holders must use the new version of the app when accessing their game tickets because it features critical updates with its integration with Ticketmaster. Time now for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow up 163 to 34,677. The NASDAQ down 24 to 13,653. And the S&P is up 7 to 44,51. It's time for the Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Planning Review. They'll review, assess, and provide strategies you can use. Go to annexwealth.com/taxsmart. Sports, traffic, weather next. Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:05.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores has once again been voted the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Best in Thrift. So to all our loyal customers who voted for us, thank you. And to all who haven't been here yet, we know we have a treasure or two that will intrigue you. And at thrift store prices, you know you're going to get a great deal. And at the same time, you'll be helping us help others. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Who makes insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. So if you ask, what company encourages you to use your benefits for regular preventive care? Or who provides quick service online or by phone? Which insurance offers access to the largest provider networks? Or who helps you save money when you need more than a checkup? The answer's the same. Definitely Delta Dental. For dental and vision insurance made simple, choose Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision today.
Now's when the summer heat is working your AC system into overtime. And after this long, it may be on borrowed time. But some of these systems really can't last, especially Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your AC system says its final goodbye, think of the man in the red van and the over 60 years of experience that Quality Heating brings to your home. To get your new Armstrong Air Pro Series AC system installed right and right away.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you have over 20 HVAC techs working with you that each have over 20 years of experience, it gives you confidence to be able to go out there and talk reliability, integrity, value, all the things that matter when you hire someone to get the job done right the first time. These words mean everything to us, and we know they mean a lot to you. And that's what you'll get when you hire the man in the red van.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
The Milwaukee Brewers had 9 total hits, including 4 consecutive doubles in the 4th inning as they go on to beat the St. Louis Cardinals on Tuesday night by a final score of 7-3.
Ripped and past the lunge of Arenado into the left field corner. It's a doubles party. Around third comes Donaldson. He'll score. To second base, Tyrone Taylor.
It was win number 85 for the Milwaukee Brewers this season, as well as number 700 for manager Craig Counsell. Milwaukee's magic number to clinch the NL Central now sits at 6. Brewers Cards Game 3 of 4 from St. Louis tonight. Coverage getting underway right here on WTMJ beginning at 6:10. The Green Bay Packers will hit the practice field for the first time this week in preparation for their home opener in Week 3 against the undefeated New Orleans Saints. The Packers injury report will be one to keep an eye on as the week goes on as they get set to face off with the Saints on Sunday afternoon. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 94 eastbound, very slow. We're losing a lane heading eastbound before you get to the stadium. So because of that, obviously, you're going to slow down dramatically. There's some bottlenecking going on, so be prepared for that. Also, on 175, it's southbound, heading into the stadium interchange as well. 175 south, that State Street left lane is blocked because of a crash there that they're dealing with. So crews are there dealing with it, but they have a spin out there that they got to rectify. Elsewhere, 4145 south is looking all right. Highway Q to the zoo should be a standard trip of about 15 minutes. And 43 southbound looking all right at the moment, too. Brown Deer Road into downtown. It's about a 14-minute trip.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast are seeing some rain roll through the area yet again this hour. Partly sunny later on, a high of 80. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 63. For Thursday, cloudy. There is a chance for an evening shower tomorrow, a high of 77. Friday, a chance for a storm, a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 75. There's still a slight chance for rain on Saturday. Same thing Sunday. Partly sunny, chance for a shower, a high of 72. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 68 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:09.
It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Now, here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Yes, hump day if you use that old term.
Did you stop that?
I still love that
What is
term.
hump day in Italian? Did you learn that?
I didn't learn that because no one says it in Italy other than
Dia del
Ciao,
Humpo.
buongiorno. Just wrap the Brewers conversation because we want to talk a couple of other things quickly here. The show poll, which is almost at 200 votes, thanks to all of you who voted, is basically the winner right now is, yes, they would be willing to pay a small fee for tailgating. It's like enhanced tailgating. I think that's ripe for opportunity. Here's the scenario. Sandy mentioned it. The grill's there. The picnic table's there. You pull in, you have an expanded spot. You're ready to go.
It's almost like renting bowling shoes. You can bring all the other stuff, but your grill is there, and you don't have to pack it up and clean it up, and you can rent a grill and a table. I think that could be a fun idea.
Brewers, are you listening to this idea? It's brilliant. We just made it easy for you. Find this area of your massive parking lots.
I'm here to help.
Enhanced VIP tailgating. And I would venture, Sandy, what do you do with this cord right now? I just got this cord wrapped around everything right now.
Plugging in the laptop.
Oh, okay.
It has to do with our next conversation about social media.
Okay. That's coming up. But we want to get back to the Gary Sinise thing. If you have not listened to this interview, find it. And we made it easy for you. It's available at WTMJ.com, all of our social media. But thanks to Greg Pancake Hill and Sandy Maxx, who put this all together, including the scheduling of the interview. Well done, you.
Thank you.
Just text the word Gary, Gary, and the whole interview is there. And I love them before the interview. I love them more after. Humanitarian actor, writer, musician, a million other things. Academy Award nominee. He's won every other Tonys. The guy is brilliant.
Yeah, very talented and just a regular, well, I won't even say regular guy, but down to earth, easy to talk with, but a really, truly decent human being. So if you heard that conversation that we had at this time yesterday, you can hear it again. Or if you text in Gary to 855-616-1620, you can share that link with your friends, because I guarantee you're going to hear something and then you're going to go, oh, my friend needs to hear this. This is great.
It was personal. It was funny because he's talking about picking up a hitchhiker.
His first trip to Milwaukee was an adventurous one, and you can hear that fun tale.
And if you were listening live yesterday, and I don't know if we've edited some of the ending of it, we lost contact with him twice. He called back both times.
That was flattering. That meant he enjoyed talking with us. Because any other A-lister probably would have been like, I got my message out about the play Last Out at Skylight Music Theater. I got my message out. But if you do want to see an exceptional performance, a veteran wrote the play. It's a veteran cast. It's called Last Out, Elegy of a Green Beret, and it's performing on stage at Skylight Music Theater Friday and Saturday performances. So if you text Gary, Gary, to 855-616-1620 on that old National Bank talk and text line, you'll get that link and you'll get all that information, the Gary Sinise conversation, and ticket info for Last Out.
And one of the questions that we get asked a lot, I get asked a lot, especially when I'm on my listener trip, what's the new show about? It's stuff like that. We're going to bring you those kind of interviews. Nobody else had Gary Sinise that I saw in town. Maybe a TV station grabbed him for a little bit. Extensive interview, talking about a lot of different things. That's the power of this show, WTMJ Now. So we'll look forward to doing more of those. That's the fun of radio.
I agree.
Yes. All right. We're going to shift gears here. Do you want to take a break or you want to get right into it? Sandy Max.
We've got questions for you about social media, and are you over it? We'll discuss that next.
A Brewers game and a Vienna beef hot dog. Ah, the perfect recipe.
Wow, this is really good.
The only thing to make it better? Winning tickets to the Brewers game with Ticket Tuesdays on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Every Tuesday at 3:35, it's Ticket Tuesdays, presented by Vienna Beef, the official hot dog of the Brewers. Better than all the rest.
A wiser way to build your wealth.
A wiser way to build your wealth starts with choosing a financial planning firm that is fee-only, because it means they work for you. Fee-only firms like Financial Strategies, Inc. don't work for a bank or brokerage firm or an insurance company or mutual fund company, because we don't want our decisions for your best interest compromised in any way. We work for you, and only in your best interest. And fee only means the success we care about most is yours. Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
I love the Fox and Hounds. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The historic restaurant was recently voted one of the top supper clubs in the area. First opened in 1933, has been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in their rustic timber structure. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. Buy one, get one free. Every Wednesday, when you buy one world-class prime rib dinner, your second prime rib dinner is free. Order any dinner on the menu. Your second one is free. Made from scratch desserts, buy one, get one free. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, or choose from over 100 wines to accent your dinner. The Fox and Hounds is family-owned and one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. Your second dinner is always free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east and in the shadows of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. As the seasons begin to change, the drive is just beautiful. Got to check it out. Enjoy a free prime rib dinner tonight or any entree. Tables are still open. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It'll lift your spirits. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
It's WTMJ Now.
Good morning, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi. WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Or news, opinions, and why it matters. You are a big X-man.
I am. That's why, Sandy Maxx, I was the online personality of the year for Wisconsin Broadcast Association last year and 2 other times. I don't just do it, I do it well.
Okay, so you and I try to do it well.
And you do.
Then you have to have had some experiences that made you go, all right, I'm going to get off social media. I have an experience that I am interested in other people's opinions because I'm weighing whether or not to get off social media, or at least one of the platforms. This past summer, my Instagram was hacked twice. Not back to back. I was able to preserve it, and it was just before a vacation. I was packing at 10 o'clock at night. I started getting Yahoo alerts that somebody's been entering your account. Is this your email address? I'm like, no. And I at least had the opportunity to prevent it. But if I'd been asleep already, I would have woken up and the Sandy Maxx Instagram account I've had since 2009 would have been gone. Now, you think, is it really that big of a deal? But you've got memories on there, and I've got direct messages.
Absolutely.
Where it's kind of that's the immediate way to communicate with sometimes business professionals. It's the way of the world now, and sometimes your friends. So I didn't want to lose over 10 years of my investment on that. Plus, I do enjoy sharing neat things that happen throughout the day, or funny things, or just life in general, as everyone likes to share. So that got hacked by some Nigerian account, and then 2 months later, it happened again. And I lost my Downton Blabby Instagram account, which I'm like, okay, fine. But again, it was people that I was in touch with, going to book on the podcast, so that's gone. So, okay, that was 50 followers. It's not the end of the world, but you still put some time into it. So did I quit Instagram? No, but I felt like victorious that I was able to subvert the second hacker from Nigeria who wanted my Instagram account. Well, now, after having such a delightful visit with some of our guest co-hosts, one of them being Susan Varela from Skylight Music Theater, she had posted on her Facebook page, gosh, had so much fun in the studio at WTMJ Now. Posted photos, and there are comments. And there's a comment from Sandy Maxx to 37 people, and they all read the same thing. So there's a bot that is impersonating me. There's a fake Sandy Maxx account, and it's got my headshot. It's got the picture of me at the John Lennon Memorial in New York City. And it says, wow, every single one of these says the same thing. Do you know that all the posts on your timeline are so encouraging and wonderful? Your amazing posts are unique, and the content of the information you always share is so educating and meaningful. All this caught my attention and like it, but we're not friends. We're not friends yet. Friends, apostrophe S, grammatically wrong. I tried to send you a request to see more of your amazing post, but it didn't go through. Please add me up or send me a friend request. Thanks, you, and God bless. This exact, with a heart emoji. So this exact comment was posted on every single comment on Susan's photos of us all together in the studio. So she was like, I think this isn't you. So this is someone as a person. I have a page. And it's actually, if you look at it, it's the Sandy Maxx trying to prevent this sort of thing. So there's a fake account out there. But the worst part, so now I'm just embarrassed and asking people, can you just report it? Because you can report through Facebook.
Yes.
So I'm just, I guess I shouldn't be embarrassed. This is other people doing stupid things. And the grammar is so awful that I'm embarrassed. I'm like, oh God, I'm a Marquette grad. I don't type that fast and that poorly. So then I was getting instant messages from my real friends saying, hey, I think you might have been hacked, because one of the instant messages is poor grammar, but is a bit deceptive me, because it's saying, I've been busy at station, happy at work, but miss you. Let's chat, and trying to get people to go to Google Chat, which I'm terrified. I'm like, no one's going to the Google Chat. So are these hackers trying to get your friends to go to some Google Chat and then try and bilk them out of money?
It's all of
or
that.
Personal information? I'm
clicking
like,
on something,
oh,
something they can get their data. That's all it is, yeah.
So this is the kind of stuff where I really enjoy Facebook for the lurk. The occasional like, oh, it's my friend's birthday and I forgot. Yay, happy birthday. And I enjoy X because that has been a way to get headlines and see what's trending and what other people are talking about. And especially now at WTMJ, it's good to be up to date on news and that sort of thing. Instagram, I have fun, but every time I'm on Instagram or any of these platforms, it's 20 minutes. I think I'm just going to check something, and I've scrolled and I've watched some dog jumping around in the water. And so if you check Instagram, Facebook, and X, also known as Twitter, and I'm also on LinkedIn, that's an hour of your day. If you spend 20 minutes on each of those, at least.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
probably
what do I
light
get,
for
and
most
what
people.
do I get out of that? So are other people experiencing this? Do you realize it's a time suck? But, we all enjoy scrolling and posting, but what would it take to get you to delete a social media platform? Just get off of it.
855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talking text. And I'll answer that question that you asked, and we'll hear from all of our listeners.
You're a loyal Xer. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm interested because I'm tempted. I'm tempted.
It's also maddening when they because this happened to my wife Kathy. Facebook.
Oh,
she lost all of her because she had to just shut it down and create a new account. She lost pictures, all the friends she had, been connected to. Had it all basically start over. Facebook was of no help. I've been lucky. I haven't had that problem yet, but I know a lot of people who have. And if you're on Facebook, you've seen the churn of, hey, ignore that message. It's not me. That's an everyday thing. I think I have 2,000 friends on Facebook or something like that. It's an everyday thing. Someone is getting imposter accounts.
Yeah.
Not really being hacked. It's imposter accounts. They just take all your data and make a new account.
One of my favorite, I got a friend request from Keanu Reeves on Instagram.
Hey, nice.
It's not him.
I got one from Elon Musk sort of once. It's like, oh, the big guy checking me out on Twitter.
So 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. Do you wrestle with this? What would it take to get you to delete and drop a social media platform?
Join the conversation after this.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hey, Wisconsin, winter is right around the corner. Get your house ready before the cold hits. WTMJ's Jeff Wagner here for Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase, brought to you by senior real estate specialists Bruce and Jean Nemovitz, Hair Construction, Current Electric, Outdoor Living Unlimited, and Kohler Services. Join us every week to discuss ways to weatherproof your home here on News Radio 620 WTMJ. If you can't catch us live, visit Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase under Features on WTMJ.com.
The famous Fox and Hounds and Mineshaft restaurants are hiring servers, bartenders, bussers, food runners, and barbacks. It's a great part-time job for high school and college students and retirees. Make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today. Start next week.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Having pain like that and not knowing how you caused it and for how long it's lasting, it's debilitating.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson hated not being able to live her life to the fullest due to joint pain. But then she called QC Kinetics, where regenerative treatments helped her pain go away.
The result was phenomenal.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics to restore and repair damaged joint tissue.
This was a great alternative for me as opposed to going in and possibly having surgery or something else. There was no downtime, and that's what I love. My life is too busy for me to be sidelined.
If you're tired of constant pain from arthritis or injury, don't think the old treatments are the only treatments. Discover regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Just to feel good and know that I'm out of pain is the best thing ever. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
WTMJ Now.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. We were talking about social media. Sandy shared her story about someone basically being an imposter with her name, posting like random posts, all the same language.
Which luckily that was the clue. But I know I'm not alone in this, that other people have had their Facebook accounts either duplicated and faked, or you get hacked like at some point because my Instagram got hacked twice in the past 2 months. And then now somebody thinks it's a great idea to be me and try and lure my friends somewhere into the Google chat and either try and get their personal information. Like, I'm sort of embarrassed, but it's exasperating. And it does make me question how much time I spend on social media and do I really need to be on these accounts. So, but we all enjoy the scroll, and we do enjoy posting fun stuff, whether it's back to school time or great
family
pasta.
stuff. Yeah, my garden is my main Facebook thing.
Your
I post.
maters, baby, your maters.
Yeah.
But the question to you is, what would it take to get you to delete? Drop a social media platform, even if it's not all of them, but getting off of one of them. The Old National Bank talk and text line, call us or text us 855-616-1620.
Now, I will answer the question that you asked. If it becomes a hassle, I will get off of it. I enjoy Twitter more than any other ones. I think it's the place where, even though you have to question what you're reading, of course, it's where news breaks. As much as people might not like that, that's where news breaks. It's often on Twitter. I mean, major events around the world, whether that's natural disasters, killings,
These are a few of my favorite things.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's a source for ideas for shows like this one. It's always got a churn of interesting ideas or hot takes.
Or what people have opinions on.
What's trending. I often look at the trending topics. So I appreciate that. Mike from Illinois has a thought. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We are wonderful. What do you think?
So I guess as I was trying to explain to producer, you kind of summed it up, Steve. If it becomes a hassle for me, I will drop it. I use the example of being hacked. I've been hacked once, and the last thing you want is your ideas or opinions to be misconstrued.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I would want. So if that happened once more or maybe twice, that would probably be enough to get me to drop it because it's not worth being misunderstood.
Agreed.
For me.
Yeah, agreed. It's when my Instagram got hacked, somebody posted a photo, which I was relieved it wasn't nudity, but it was of a Land Rover, and it was a paragraph about how much I enjoyed my Land Rover and follow this account so you can get a Land Rover too. And like 12 of my friends immediately liked it. I'm like, do you not know me? I love a Volkswagen Beetle. I'm not a Land Rover gal. What are we doing here?
Thanks for the call, Mike. Look, the other thing is, and I'll kind of weave this in because we're going to be going to break pretty soon. Elon Musk has said he might start charging a user fee. When that happens, unless the stations pay for it, I will be off Twitter. I'm not going to pay a fee to be on social media. Sorry. Not going to. Yeah, not going to. I've had great luck. I've got, 5,000 something followers, and I would feel bad about it, but I would just as soon post, then I'd have to post on the station's account. I'm not paying for Twitter. I'm not paying for Facebook. It's not worth it. And to your point about, it does suck you in. I used to have a problem. I spent too much time on social media. I actually consciously decided to roll that back.
Yeah.
My life's better for it. Now, I have not been hacked or cloned that I know of.
I'm surprised, considering how regularly you use it. I would have thought maybe you would. But from 262 on the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620, 262. I deleted Facebook 3 years ago, disliked all the politics both ways. Don't miss it at all. And then you've also got 262 who just texted the same thing. If X starts charging, I'll delete mine in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay. It's not worth it. I can find other ways to get information.
414 texted that same sentiment as well. If they're going to charge me as a user, I am done.
This brings up a larger topic, which we don't have time to spend on today, but the value of social media. What is it? I think it's unique to everybody, right? I know people that literally spend their days and unfortunately their nights on social media. They're sitting at home, probably not moving around enough, and they literally are always direct messaging, posting, some cases, commenting on social media. That's not a lifestyle choice, a healthy lifestyle choice. It's too much.
But I think it's partially what we're doing in the 21st century and having our brains rewired with the addiction of it and the delusion. It's almost like aspartame, like the fake sugar. Like, I don't know, is it really better to have the fake sweetener instead of the real sweetener? Because I realize with the amount of time I spend on social media, am I really in touch with my best friends enough? I still owe a friend of mine in New York, one of my best friends from high school, Nancy, a phone call because I want to have a good, at least half-hour hearty catch-up chat with her. I haven't done that yet, but I did spend half an hour scrolling on social media, like preparing for the show. It's like,
priorities.
414 texted in, I canceled Facebook. I missed the pictures from my family, but couldn't stand all the inaccurate information, the strange, creepy people. I had no idea who they were asking to be friends. So it's this pseudo-social world where it's like, are we really being social? It's nice. Like I said, I like to lurk and I like to see updates from my friends. But boy, wouldn't I get a better charge out of spending half an hour even just texting my friends, even if I'm not talking with them?
I think the answer is yes. The great thing about Facebook for me, this is kind of lame, It reminds me of people's birthdays. And I can reach out and say, "Hey, happy!" Even my
you have a calendar. You could add those to your calendar.
I'm not putting all my relatives. I got a lot of relatives. I have Italian family. I'm not putting all their birthdays on my calendar. So it reminds me, or just casual friends. When my birthday pops up, I get a lot of nice messages, and I try to thank each person.
And that does feel nice.
It's a nice thing.
I will not lie. That's the mouse and the cheese tapping.
So even though Zuckerberg created it to get girlfriends, apparently all those years ago at Harvard or wherever he was.
I watched the social. Was it social? Not Dilemma.
The Social Network.
The Social Network.
Thank you, Producer Charlie. I love the fact that that's one of those reminder platforms that I can actually use. It's good. It's a good base for me to kind of be nice to people and say, "Hey, happy birthday today. Enjoy your day. Whatever you got going on, enjoy your day."
So I'm thrilled for anyone who follows Sandy Maxx on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thank you for following the real me. I appreciate it. I'll stay on, but if you do get a really poorly spelled grammatical note from me, it's probably not me.
And if you follow me on the X, or formerly known as Twitter, I'm at WTMJ Steve. Here's, again, award-winning, WBA. I'm patting myself on the back again, but I give you good content. Now, here's the warning. On Packers game days, I will literally give you 50 posts because I'm going to talk about the game, things I noticed, stadium stuff, whatever.
During the game?
During the game.
You should be present during the game. See, that's where I debate that.
I am doing both.
But that's okay. You can multitask.
Yes, I can. Very well. So after the break, we're scheduled to be joined by, he's our monthly visitor. I always love this. We always want to talk about not just Milwaukee, but what's happening around Milwaukee. Our monthly visit with Washington County Executive Josh Showman. I think he's in the house. We'll find out. We'll take a break. Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
If you're like me, you always like to add a little something new to the wardrobe. But when money's tight, it makes it harder. And that's why you shop at St. Vincent de Paul for a terrific selection of women's clothing at thrift store prices. Brand names, too, with a selection that's always up to date and looking great. You're going to find something cute at the right price, and you're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Sharpen your investment and retirement strategy at the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? And what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets takes place in Mequon September 26th and Brookfield October 5th. These premier events are open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. The American economy is at a critical juncture. What's next? Join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management.
Get ready. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale September 22nd. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets at brewers.com/postseason.
It's WTMJ Now.
A little walk-up music for one of our favorite monthly guests from Washington County Executive Josh Showman. Welcome, sir.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for having me back. Welcome back from Italy.
Yes, I was. Don't get me started. I'll talk about it for a half hour, and you just be sitting there listening to me talk about Italy. No, it was fantastic. So you were telling us a story when you walked in here. This is kind of cool. Tell the story. You did something. You created something, and now you may be rewarded for that something. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks. So Discover Wisconsin, right after the pandemic, was coming to counties talking about getting us to subscribe to their program and do things like that. And I reached out to the Counties Association. I said, hey, we should all work together and do something a little different that's more about the people than the places. Because Discover Wisconsin highlights all the cool places in Wisconsin. And so we ended up creating this this cool concept where we partner with Discover MediaWorks and created a new brand called Uniquely Wisconsin. And Uniquely Wisconsin highlights the people behind the places. So they tell the stories about, for example, the ringleader at Circus World in Baraboo. They actually told the story about him and the end of his career rather than everybody knows about Circus World. Yeah. So it was really neat. Or the owners of Ishnala Supper Club in the Dells. They told that story rather than everybody knows about Ishnala.
Right.
So it was just really cool. And we found out last night we are nominated for an Emmy.
And you first of all, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But I mean, you made the great point before we started here that, like, how many county executives are up for Emmy consideration? I don't think a lot.
Yeah. Some politicians should be maybe Emmy nominated for their performances, but
very true.
You have a unique distinction for creating wonderful content. And Peggy Williams-Smith, Visit Milwaukee president and CEO, we were talking about, drawing people to Milwaukee and to our state. And that is almost always the number one is the people. The people here are great. They're warm, they're friendly. So to spotlight the people behind the landmarks.
Yeah. It's a little bit
idea.
like the, what is it, diners, dives, and dashes or whatever kind of concept. Yeah. It's kind of like that. And, Peggy's a rock star. I mean, so she knows it. Wisconsin has some really amazing people and some stories about cool things they're doing that have resulted in neat places.
You're talking about Italy, and one of the things that I told my group, which was like 45 strong, is the reason this is a cool trip is the people that are there. They're from all over Wisconsin. They have great stories. Everyone from a former medical examiner to a farmer. Those stories have to be told. And I think doing stuff like this kind of softens some of the negativity that we have in our country now, where everybody's taking shots, political shots at everybody, and just telling really cool stories about cool people.
Yeah, it's
I
not
love
just
that
about
idea.
the cannolis over there, is it?
No, it's not. There's a lot of things I could tell you about it.
But humanizing people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we get, and that's one of the great things about being able to discuss issues a little more in depth on WTMJ now, is not just the soundbite.
Yeah.
And so right now you can tell us in more detail when Steve asks you a question. Oh, we've got a chance to explore that idea, ask a follow-up question instead of just having to give you a news digest in half an hour like TV news.
Yeah, it was so neat because we have a place in West Bend, Jeff Spirits on Main, and it's a kind of kitty corner from Badger Middle School. And everybody goes there to, of course, buy their cocktails for the Packer games. But what they don't know is Jeff is the guy behind like every community function you can think of. The oldest Christmas parade in the state, a bunch of the trying things with Boys and Girls Club. I mean, he's behind everything, but he doesn't want anybody to know that. So we did a special on Jeff, and I hope people come to West Bend and buy a bottle of something and just to meet Jeff. Oh, there he is.
I love that. Washington County Executive Josh Shulman joining. So he does every month. What is it, the third Wednesday of the month? Is that what we do?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this. You were at this Wisconsin Counties Association meeting.
Yeah.
What are the leaders talking about? What are the executives talking about?
Well, first of all, I think the success this last budget cycle on shared revenue, there was lots of positive energy. I mean, I think people felt very good about a humongous step forward for municipalities and for counties. And yet there's a lot of work left to do. And so we talked a lot about housing. We talked about Uniquely Wisconsin. We had a really cool panel. I brought a scholar from American Enterprise Institute in to talk about housing. He wrote a book not too long ago called The Poor Side of Town and Why We Need It. And so he gave a really nice presentation and just had some really, you know how these things are, just the dialogue back and forth and the ideation with fellow elected officials, I think really helps reinvigorate you, number one. But every once in a while you have a good idea like Uniquely Wisconsin.
Budgets have been such a hot topic for years. When Act 10 kind of changed the rules, changed the realities for local communities, and counties feel that too. So after shared revenue, what is the sense of progress? What is the sense of the budget process now after that happened?
I really think people felt like it was a good step in the right direction, and not only seeing the shared revenue, new dollars for this year, but it's a sustainable path where we're counting on our economic success in every municipality all across the state of Wisconsin in order to do better just as a municipality. That wasn't always the case with property tax revenue. So I think that's good. And I think we all realize it's just one step. Inflation doing what it's doing, interest rates doing what they're doing. There's pressure on us, just like every business, every household. And so, it's a positive step forward, but we're going to have to come back in the next budget cycle and talk about some new and innovative ways. And hopefully, in the end, if nothing else comes of this, it sparks the opportunity for working together with local municipalities and counties, and hopefully some shared services and doing things smarter and a little bit better.
Washington County Executive Josh Shulman joining us in studio. If you have a question, if you live in Washington County or surrounding areas, fire it off on the text line, Old National Bank Talk, and text line 855-616-1620. More with the county exec after this.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this.
Radon. It's in your home, and Lifetime Radon Solutions can get it out. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. The radon levels in our Menominee Falls home were too high for our comfort level. Lifetime Radon Solutions installed a mitigation system in less than a day to put our minds at ease. Radon's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. Call Lifetime Radon Solutions today for a free home test with no strings attached. Mitigation systems start as low as $9.95. Take care of your family and do what we did. Call Lifetime Radon Solutions today. LifetimeRadon.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Panoramic CBD, one of my newest partners here at WTMJ. Whether you're looking to reduce anxiety, pain, depression, or just need to relax, Panoramic CBD has the best products for everyone's needs. They farm, process, test, and package their own CBD products. Hence the slogan, from soil to oil. By overseeing every stage of the process, Panoramic CBD eliminates the middleman, ensuring unmatched quality throughout. Offering the best CBD products at the best prices for you and your pets. Yes, pets. Shop local. Shop Wisconsin. From soil to oil, panoramicCBD.com.
What's the way to build your wealth?
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now, you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being a fiduciary to help our clients reach their financial goals. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers not just here but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WTMJ Now.
In studio, as he is every third Wednesday, County Executive, Washington County, Josh Shulman, running for re-election. I saw that. Good luck.
Yes, thank you.
4-year term. So we had a caller who asked this question, the geography question, how did the city of West Bend get its name?
Well, it's a halfway point between Fond du Lac and Milwaukee, and it's on the west bend of the Milwaukee River. Fond du Lac Avenue, Highway 45, used to go right through the heart of West Bend.
It's kind of wild that that's how the city got its name. It's like
simple.
I wasn't here then.
No, I would imagine you were. Maybe
back in
relatives.
1845.
Were your relatives here then? Or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Well,
I knew a guy.
So what else is shaking? What else is shaking in Washington County? I mean, there's always a lot going on. You're obviously a county closer to Milwaukee than some of the other outlying areas. What's going on in Washington County?
Yeah, well, we had we do a biennial budget in Washington County. So I think we're the only local unit of government in Wisconsin that does it yet, if not the only one of the only. And we kicked that off last week, so I'm pretty excited about that. As I promised, we're starting with some tax reduction, reducing our property tax levy, which I know you're familiar with, the collections, the amount we collect. So I'm thrilled with that. But then making a bunch of big reforms, including, believe it or not, we're talking about cutting the cost of permits because we're really trying to get people to move to Washington County and to build houses in Washington County, and let's take some of the hurdles out of the way.
So give me some real life examples. So like a zoning permit, or
exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. For us, at the county level, we don't do building permits, at least not like you think about putting a deck on the back of your house or something like that. But we have a lot of like shoreland zoning and other types of zoning permits, and those are the ones that I'm proposing we cut the costs in half.
On development, because we're obviously talking about this earlier about the big Brewers proposal from the GOP and how we kind of bring some economic development to an area that's essentially parking lots when the Brewers aren't playing. It's the big tailgating area. From your perspective in the county position, are you always looking at development in different ways, new ways, or is it kind of status quo?
No, absolutely. I think it's in new ways. I think the expectations of the future generations and even existing generations as they age have changed over time. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you remember from Oak Creek, our zoning codes don't change at that same pace.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they don't change much at all except to get thicker. So they're more complicated. I always tell people when I was in the military, the drill sergeants would scream at me, KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid. And our zoning codes are keep it complicated, stupid.
The opposite.
It is the opposite. And, it's not plan commissioners' fault. It's not city council members or mayor's faults. They are there for a short period of time. But when you compound it over 100 years, boy, does it get hard.
Let me pitch one at you that you weren't expecting. So much conversation about, it's not a hard one, but it's one that I think a lot of people are attuned to. All the conversation over the last 3 years about the role of clerks in elections.
Yeah.
Speak to your county, the work that your clerks do when it comes to counting the ballots, making sure the process works. Your thoughts on some of that conversation?
Yeah, actually, I've been there, done that. I was a clerk myself.
I didn't know that.
I was, when I was in Richfield and before that in Princeton and Green Lake County. So I've run the elections, I've done the whole thing, and it's really hard work. Number one, number two, especially in the last 10 years, we went from the old elections board to the Government Accountability Board to the Wisconsin Election Commission, and just a million changes that have happened. I think what people forget is when I started, right before I started, when the elections board existed, was before the Help America Vote Act. So before the Bush-Gore campaign, it was all paper ballots. It was all manual processes. And what we learned from that, it was an election here in Wisconsin that was down to about 5,000 vote difference. Gore beats Bush by 5,000 votes. And of course, everybody remembers Florida and the Hanging Chads. But then they changed everything to this electronic stuff. And the burden that put on clerks, and then the rules keep changing because we're learning as we go to some extent, and people are challenging the rules as we go. I mean, it is really, really difficult work. I tip my hat to every clerk, county clerk, municipal clerk. They're getting pulled every single direction, and especially during those years that Governor Walker was in office, and then all the recalls happened, and oh man, it's been tough for the last decade.
What's the role of local leaders in restoring the faith in the election process? Things you say, things you do.
I think there's a role from top to bottom, and I think the way you talk about elections and honor the integrity of the process is super, super important. And we've got too many people undermining. One of the things we did in Washington County last November was we did a physical hand count of every single ballot because I knew there's so many people who are questioning, are those machines miscalculating? How do we know? Of course, computers can do actually a better job than humans in counting because we make mistakes. We're humans.
I remember talking about this. What was the result?
Yeah, the result was a difference of 2 votes and out of tens of thousands of ballots. I want to say there was like 70 or 80,000 ballots. So, I think there's a serious role for us to play, and it's incumbent upon every elected official to maintain integrity in the process and to give clerks and poll workers, man, those people put some hours in, huh? Give them credit where credit's due.
Somebody raised this issue. Should we treat election workers like we treat those people doing jury duty? Should we require citizens in a community, counties, whatever, towns, to participate in the process? I kind of like the idea.
It's an interesting concept. I mean, look, at the end of the day, in the elections process, are there areas for us to improve? 100%. The purging the voting rolls, to how we do ballot drop boxes and all that stuff. Is there ways for us to refine and improve? Yeah, there always are. It's a human system. We built it. We can always make it better. But our system, when you look across the across the globe, even across the United States in some cases, it is very, very good. It is very good. And it's really hard to manipulate because we have so many stinking municipalities. It'd be very difficult to go 1,800 municipalities across the state of Wisconsin and mess with all the processes. So I have a high degree of confidence in our system. And just like Uniquely Wisconsin Stories, it's about the people who run it.
All right, good luck on the Emmy thing. We're going to let you go.
Thank
but give me something fun about Washington County, one of your cities, communities, before we let you get out of here. Something fun. Something fun's happening.
So we're doing a Doors Open West Bend coming up as well. Yeah,
nice.
Doors Open Milwaukee is happening pretty quickly here, right? And we're doing one in West Bend as well in the next few weeks. So,
very cool.
Go to the old Google machine and check it out.
Is that what it's called? The Google machine. The old Google machine. You can find him in Washington County. County Executive Josh Sherman. Thanks for spending the time. Always fun to chat with you. Keep up the good work. I'll even say it over the air. Good luck on the re-election.
All right, thanks for having me.
You've earned
Good
it. All right, we'll take a break. Sandy and Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. It's Brewers play-by-play announcer Lane Grindle.
They've got the ability to put an incredible defensive team out there in the outfield. When they've got Weimer in center and Freewick in right, there aren't any teams in Major League Baseball that can cover as much ground as those two guys.
Every Monday at 4:15.
Don't ever take meaningful baseball in September for granted. It is special when it's here, and the Brewers have had meaningful baseball in September since the 2017 season.
This is the Hunt for Brew October, presented by Delta Dental and Network Health.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, it's Greg Matzik. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. Patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there is no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hip, shoulder, or back, you have to give a call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Imagine this fall, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, like walking, hiking, and playing with the grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started, and they're right here in Milwaukee. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Again, 414-285-3474. The
next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. WTMJ Now.
Thanks to Josh Shulman, Washington County Executive from Ryan West Bend. Keep up the good work, Josh. We love living in West Bend. Just no more quick trips, please. I feel like there's one every half mile. I love Quick Trip. More Quick Trips, I say.
Good Wisconsin business.
I was at Quick Trip this morning. I got coffee there. Because one of the things when you go to, I was in Italy. You know this. Their coffee's different. Espresso.
Robusto?
Yeah, it's completely different. And at one point on the trip, I said, I just like a bun coffee maker, straight coffee. Well, if I go to Quick Trip, they have a couple options, but it's just great coffee. And that's one of the reasons we love Quick Trip. So I disagree with you on that one, but great comments about the county executive. Look, one of the reasons he's on it because he knows the job. He's a mover and a shaker. He's up for an Emmy, for Pete's sake. That's some pretty cool stuff happening in Washington
that's
County.
an exciting accomplishment for him.
And I was telling Sandy during the break, we're in the midst of locating local leaders around the states. I got a great list from Jerry Deshane from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. We're going to start interviewing those folks as well because I want to bring this show to you. Matter of fact, we're doing a live remote from Waupun on October 6th.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Yeah, just doing that very thing.
Telling stories from all around the state.
Absolutely. All right, so I saw this story, I think it broke last night or this morning. Downer Theater closing. 108 years.
Very surprising. I was trying to remember if they were, because Milwaukee Film Festival will happen at the Oriental Theater, but other theaters around the city like the Times and the Avalon. And I thought for a while Downer was part of it. Now I'm recalling like maybe Downer hasn't been part of it for the past few years. And then 2020, was upheaval for so many theaters. But yeah, what a surprise. And, gosh, the Chancery used to be over there. That's that block with Boswell Books and the Chancery.
I used to love the Chancery. My wife, Kathy, was a waitress at the Chancery.
Wonderful.
Yes. So I have a strong connection.
So R.I.P. Chancery. Still sorry to lose them. Saying thank God Boswell Books is still there. But yeah, this has been a landmark, obviously, for the Downer. And it was even landmark theaters for years. And I know I saw many an independent film there. And they were also great at streaming performances as well. So so they really satisfied, in my thought, that independent film need. But maybe it got more and more and more niche. We are still finding out why the decision to close it abruptly is. Yeah, and we'll always find out. I can remember, I'm pretty sure it was the Downer, because I went to UWM that I saw with my buddies Steve and Tom. We saw like the movie Alien or Officer and a Gentleman in that era. I mean, it's great memories. Whenever something like that old, that ancient, that traditional closes, it's a sad day. Yeah. And when you think back 108 years, it's almost like the Biograph in Chicago. You think of dressing up and going to the films and the cinema and that kind of thing, and just always friendly people. And it was always fun to talk to other people in that very small lobby. It was just a great Milwaukee experience on the fashionable East Side to see independent movies at the Downer. And so that's a bummer. Fox Bay Cinema Grill in Whitefish Bay also closed in 2020. Yeah. So some of these smaller theaters that have had that real charm are gone now. The experience of watching a movie is changing. A lot of people choosing to do it at home. All right. Fire up those questions. A 1-hour special edition of Ask Us Anything coming up, 855-616-1620. I want good ones today. Not that they're always not good, but I want some good ones today. Anything, politics, culture, entertainment, sports. You pick the question. We do our best to answer it. That's next on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Hi there, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel. Let's explore the world together. Picture yourself traveling in style and luxury, embracing the beauty of the world and creating cherished memories with friends. We've curated one-of-a-kind immersive experiences just for you. Whether it's serene landscapes of Alaska, the enchanting history of Europe, the tropical paradise of Hawaii, the cultural wonders of Egypt, Japan, and Vietnam, or a breathtaking safari in South Africa, we've got it all. And that's not all. We offer diverse travel options from land to ocean and river journeys. Our award-winning Fox Group vacation experts have collaborated with the best tour and cruise companies, including Insight Vacations, Globus, Avalon Waterways, Uniworld, and Holland America, to craft these extraordinary itineraries exclusively available at Fox. Visit foxworldtravel.com to explore our incredible collection or call 866-GO-FOX-GO to speak with one of our knowledgeable travel advisors. The world is waiting for you, and we can't wait to embark on this thrilling adventure together. Let's explore the world together. Start your journey today.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting tonight at 6:10. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 11:01, it is 68 degrees. It's going to get to a high of 80 eventually. We do have a little bit of rain that's been moving through the area. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bills. They're going to get to the roads quickly here. WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 894 southbound. We have a crash near Beloit. It's got the two right lanes blocked. So traffic getting by in the two left lanes. You're squeaking through this area. There's road work in that area too. So because of that, very slow heading south on 894. You'll get through it, but it might take you some extra time, though. I'll get you an update on that situation and the rest of the roadways here coming up in just a couple of minutes. Decision Wisconsin, locally in Milwaukee. The mayor, Cavalier Johnson, announcing his intention to run for re-election next year.
The announcement comes one day after Mayor Johnson proposed his 2024 budget for the city, one that for the first time in years will not be highlighted by cuts. The mayor is currently serving the remainder of former Mayor Tom Barrett's tenure, which ends in April. Mayor Johnson won his first election in 2022 with over two-thirds of the vote against current state representative Bob Donovan. The 2024 mayoral primary election is on February 20th, and the general election will be April 2nd. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
In Washington, Republicans are accusing the head of the Justice Department of weaponizing the agency against former President Donald Trump.
House Judiciary Committee Republicans accuse the Justice Department of a double standard as it pursues charges against Donald Trump. Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson.
They see slow walking and special treatment given to the president's son. That's just a fact that everybody can see with their own two eyes.
Attorney General Merrick Garland insists his department applies the law evenly, and he says Special Counsel David Weiss's Hunter Biden probe is operating independently.
Prosecutors make appropriate determinations on their own. In this case, I left it to Mr. Weiss whether to bring charges or not.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Quicker delivery times and increased automation are the future of package delivery.
Drones and robots and automated final mile delivery actually going to get the package to your doorstep.
Matt Huckabee from Evans Transportation Services in Delafield says customers are getting used to shorter delivery times, which means companies are building or buying space for micro warehouses.
Going to allow shippers, e-commerce brands especially, to position their inventory in more urban areas close to their customers.
Customers who want their orders right now. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
A lunchtime favorite is the subject of a major recall.
Kraft Heinz says there was a problem with a machine that wraps each slice of its Kraft Singles American cheese, and that problem means that it's possible a thin strip of film from the wrapper could remain on the cheese, creating a possible choking risk. Nobody's been hurt and the machine's been fixed, but Kraft Heinz is recalling more than 83,000 cases of its cheese. Company's website has more information on the recall, but says individual packages affected will contain the letter S and the number 72 in their manufacturing code. Brian Clark, ABC News.
The oldest movie theater in Milwaukee closing its doors. Downer Theater on the city's east side announcing on Facebook it is shutting down. Downer first opened in 1915. Time now for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mixed bag right now on Wall Street. The Dow is up 200 to 34,718. The NASDAQ down 13 to 13,664. And the S&P is up 8 to 44.52. Navigating the Markets is back and scheduled for Mequon, Madison, Brookfield, and Appleton. Get set for what's next. Details at annexwealth.com/events. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. According to a Career Builder survey, the average cost of a bad hire is $50,000. You can't afford to make a mistake. Let LAK Group help you in your recruiting efforts. Their proprietary recruiting process fuses expertise, resources, and technologies with your needs and identifies strategies and solutions that boost your company's productivity. Let LAK Group's executive recruiting services help you find great candidates. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group. Discover your human advantage.
You can give them the same old, or you can surprise them with something unique from St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Store at a bargain. Almost new, but really cool. The thing about thrift store gift shopping is that you never know what you'll find, but when you find it, you'll know it's right. That's what makes it fun. And if you just can't choose, gift cards are always available at St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
Sharpen your investment and retirement strategy at the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? And what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets takes place in Mequon September 26th and Brookfield October 5th. These premier events are open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. The American economy is at a critical juncture. What's next? Join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management.
Get ready. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale September 22nd. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets at brewers.com/postseason.
And time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
The Milwaukee Brewers had 9 total hits, including 4 consecutive doubles in the 4th inning as they go on to beat the St. Louis Cardinals on Tuesday night by a final score of 7-3.
Ripped and past the lunge of Arenado into the left field corner. It's a doubles party. Around third comes Donaldson. He'll score. To second base, Tyrone Taylor.
It was win number 85 for the Milwaukee Brewers this season, as well as number 700 for manager Craig Counsell. Milwaukee's magic number to clinch the NL Central now sits at 6. Brewers Cards Game 3 of 4 from St. Louis tonight. Coverage getting underway right here on WTMJ beginning at 6:10. The Green Bay Packers will hit the practice fields for the first time this week in preparation for their home opener in Week 3 against the undefeated New Orleans Saints. The Packers injury report will be one to keep an eye on as the week goes on as they get set to face off with the Saints on Sunday afternoon. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving time saver traffic. Trouble spot right now is 894 southbound. We have a crash in the right lane there on Beloit Road in that stretch there on 894 South. And because of that, only the 2 left lanes are open, and you're seeing some hefty delays heading south on 894. Got road work in that stretch, too. So you have barrels and this accident. So not a good recipe at the moment. So southbound, you're going to see some heavy delays on 894. Elsewhere, 94 eastbound, still slow because of the road work being done. You're losing a lane heading east on 94 before you get to the stadium, so you're crawling through that stretch. Also, Brewers Boulevard there in the stadium interchange is shut down, so you can't go south in that stretch at the stadium. You have to keep going east.
Traffic sponsored by Wettiger Compressor, the Midwest air compressor experts. Visit pressureisoff.biz.
Servicing world-class Wisconsin manufacturers for 9 decades. Contact Wettiger Compressor at pressureisoff.biz.
Wettiger Compressor.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. A little bit of rain still popping up in different areas of southeast Wisconsin. Otherwise becoming partly sunny and a high of 80. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 63. Thursday, cloudy, a high of 77. There is a chance for a shower tomorrow evening. Friday, chance for rain, partly sunny, a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 75. Again, a chance for a shower. Same thing Sunday, chance for a shower and a high of 72. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 71. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:09.
It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Now, here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Did you know that, Sandy Maxx? Pepperoni Pizza Day.
I don't hate an excuse to eat pepperoni pizza.
According to casinos.com, it's the number 1 topping in the state of Wisconsin. I'm not sure if I buy that. Pepperoni?
Not Canadian bacon and pineapple?
No.
There you go.
What about
That'll fire
sausage? Cheese, sausage, mushroom is still, I think, the dominant pizza in the state. Although a lot of kids love pepperoni pizzas. I don't know. Something to think about as we delve into what is our weekly foray into letting you ask the questions. So typically how a show works is we decide what the topics are, and then you weigh in. Well, now you get to decide. You ask us anything, which is the way we brand this whole thing. Already got a caller. Got some interesting ones. Somebody asked me about football cards. Going to be up at the great sports cards store, Real Sports Cards store in Waupun on October 6th, live broadcast. Come on and see us, by the way. All those card collectors out there, somebody asked me what I'm looking forward to breaking, what sets, Panini football, really any of the new 2023 football releases. I love football cards. That's really it for me. I don't really delve into the other areas. Baseball's interesting to me, but I don't collect baseball cards. So that's my answer. All right, let's get to the phone lines.
I don't collect football or baseball cards. I have some old ones that my dad had.
I'd like to look at those. Can I look at those?
I'll bring them in. Honestly, I want to bring them in for our visit when we're broadcasting live at the card store at Waupun in October.
I love that.
6th. Yeah.
All right, Diane from downtown, D&D, you're up first. What's the question?
Hello?
Diane. Hello, Diane.
Diane will come back to you.
All right, let's see. Let's go to Tony on the southwest side. Tony.
Good morning.
Hi, Tony.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
What's your
question?
Why does it appear is my choice of words, that the city of Milwaukee does not sweep the streets north of, say, let's say, State Street or Wisconsin Avenue? I can go east to west on Morgan Avenue from 27th to 84th. I could eat off the streets. I get off the freeway to do some business on Keith Avenue and go east towards Holton. Garbage everywhere. Do we not sweep the streets on the north side?
I'll let you go, Tony. It's an interesting question. I mean, obviously I don't have the specific answer to that, but here's what I'll say generally. One of the biggest ways a community, large or small, can enhance their profile is to make sure they do two things. Clean your streets, no garbage, and cut your weeds down. I'm driving around the other day. There's weeds that are 4 feet tall at an intersection. I actually did this when I was mayor of Oak Creek. I drove around. And if I found a weed that was unsightly,
unnaturally,
I cut it down. That's something we should not have to put up with.
You didn't just pull it up by the roots? That's the way to get to the issue.
I mean, obviously, you could do that too.
Weeds can be a problem. I used to get off on the Wisconsin Avenue exit on 175 North, right there by the Wisconsin Humane Society. If you're trying to make a left, that area, it was a vacant lot right there at the corner. The weeds would get so high that it would mess with the visibility to try and come out and make a left turn.
I don't know why it's
I'm
so
all
hard.
for natural grasses and, no mow may to pollinate, but when it impedes the visibility, just like trees overgrowing a stop sign, it can be dangerous when you've got overgrowth and vegetation like that.
Think about your decision to exit a freeway. If you see an exit that just looks trash-filled and gross and nasty, you might drive past that exit to find one that looks nicer. In a city, you're selling your city every day, every moment, and how your city looks can be based on something as simple as that. And here's how it can impact your economy. If I have a nasty-looking exit that's always gross, always dirty, and there's a restaurant literally at that exit, I might think twice about going to that restaurant. So what you do in those basic areas, garbage, landscaping. One of the reasons I'm so critical of all these ideas about more landscaping, I love landscaping, but that's only if you maintain it. I've seen so many projects, and one of the requirements for building and development now is you have to add the green space, right? And often it's, really cool landscaping. Day one. Show me year 5, it doesn't look like that anymore. Bushes aren't trimmed, garbage in the site, weeds running crazy. If you're going to build the landscaping, those plots, those beds, those amazing transitions between pavements and whatever you're developing beyond that, make sure you maintain them. All right, let's try Diane from downtown. One more time, Diane from downtown. Happy National Pepperoni Pizza Day, Diane.
Oh, yum, yum, yum. Your trip to Italy sounded absolutely wonderful.
It was.
And my two-part question revolves around the trip to Italy. Mm-hmm. The first part is, what were your 5 favorite meals? And what made them special on your trip to Italy? And the second part was, what was your typical breakfast like while you were on the trip?
Good questions, Diane.
You're making me hungry, Diane. Just give me lunchtime.
Yeah, me too. And here's something to think about. So next Monday at 11:30, I'm putting together a feature. Matter of fact, producer Charlie and I are going to work on it tomorrow of all the sounds and voices and cool stuff that happened on the trip. We're going to play that, and then Rose Gray from Fox Road Travel will be in studio, and 1 or 2 of our listeners who went on the trip. So next Monday, 11:30-ish, we will talk about the trip in great detail. So here's your answer. Thanks for the call, Diane. Here's your answer. So we had a great wild boar dish over pasta noodles, big, thick noodles, homemade. That was one of them. We had Parma ham at the place where they make the Parma ham, that unique little valley in that region of Italy. That was another one. All the sliced salami that I had. Oh my God, it was fantastic. Gelato. Hello.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not a huge gelato fan, but my wife started eating this gelato, and I'm like, I got to have some of that gelato.
How can you not be a huge gelato fan? It's creamy. It's delicious.
It is amazing. So I would combo them. They had like a kind of a generic creme or vanilla, and then I put like mocha on top of it. Oh my God!
Says the man who only likes vanilla ice cream. Just saying.
Number one flavor in America, by the way. But we weren't in America. And the breakfast question is also interesting. So we kept it pretty light because one of the things about this trip, and anyone who's on the trip will tell you this, we ate a lot. So we tried to lighten the breakfast. So I would often have like fresh nectarines. Maybe they have great bread in Italy. Slice of bread quickly toasted, and you can put whatever you want on it. Some people put jam, which is amazing. I put a thin layer of butter. So we kept it light. It wasn't the breakfast so much, but I can guarantee that if you go to Italy, the food experience will knock your socks off. And one of the cool things about this trip was that was our goal. I told Rose Gray and all their colleagues at Fox Road Travel, food and wine.
Yeah, you want to eat and drink your way through it. You weren't there to see art museums.
No, we went to a few museums and some great sites, but it was about the eating experience, and everybody loved it. And some of the best meals I've ever had, and I've been to Italy before, were had on this trip. We had experiences you could not do individually, but we were a group, so we got to go there. So hopefully I answered your question. The food is amazing in Italy. Here's the other little thing that people don't know. Cheaper than our cost for food. Significantly. Their cost of living is not high. Now, you got to get over there, and obviously you're going to pay for a hotel and all that stuff, but their cost of food and wine, very, very reasonable. And a lot of our listeners that went on the trip were surprised about that. I got a ton of questions, including Bob from Waukesha, who I think owes me a little money on our Bears bets.
Uh-oh.
And that money will go to charity, Bob, so don't worry about that. We'll talk to Bob on the phone. Lots of text questions as well. Sandy, Steve, ask us anything, special hour-long edition. We do it every Wednesday. Join us, 855-616-1620. Great questions so far. What's next? Let's find out.
More of WTMJ now after this. A Brewers game and a Vienna beef hot dog. The perfect recipe.
Wow, this is really good.
The only thing to make it better? Winning tickets to the Brewers game with Ticket Tuesdays on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Every Tuesday at 3:35, it's Ticket Tuesdays, presented by Vienna Beef, the official hot dog of the Brewers. Better than all the rest.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
WTMJ now.
Ask us anything on this Wednesday edition. Easy way to get a hold of us. The Old National Bank talking text line 855-616-1620. Let's bring Bob into the conversation. Bob from Waukesha. Hi, Bob.
Good morning, Steve and Sandy. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm marvelous. Steve, I'm glad you had a fun and a safe trip. I'm glad you're back. And I'm just returning from Downers Grove, which is suburban Chicago, and it's appropriately named after the performance on September the 10th,
right.
Because I am down. But my question to you, Steve, is, we had a little wager, and I'm just wanting to know if you're going to be charging the interest since it's almost been 2 weeks.
No interest charge, Bob, and you're always good fun on the show. Here's what I think you should do. I think it was $10, right?
Yes, sir.
Just donate to Best Buddies.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, put your name. Yeah, donate the $10 to Best Buddies, and we'll call it even. I always want to benefit those folks because I'm working hard to get them as much money as they can to do the great work that they do with all those folks who need our help. So I think that's a fun way to do it. And on the subject of the Bears, Bob, I don't have any good answer for what ails the Bears, man. It is tough. It is tough.
I have to tell you, I was listening to Gary Sinise yesterday.
Yes.
And I tend to be a little bit of a crybaby. I don't know where that comes from because my mother and father were not, but he evoked emotions in me.
Yeah, I think he did all of us.
Aw, Bob, I'm so glad. Gary Sinise, what an inspiration, and the great work that he's dedicating his life to make sure that other people's lives are better, especially those who've laid it on the line for our safety.
I'm glad you enjoyed that interview, Bob, and thanks for the donation to Best Buddies. And we can bet again because I know this. They have another game scheduled at some point this season.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, man. Thanks, Bob from Waukesha.
And if you want to hear that interview with Gary Sinise that we did yesterday, if you text the word Gary to the Old National Bank talk and text line, text GARY to 855-616-1620. We'll send you the link to that interview and also information about the play Last Out that he was talking about that's going to be at Skylight Music Theater this weekend.
Great cause, great foundation, Gary Sinise Foundation. You can follow him on Twitter. You can donate there. Even if you can't go to the play, which is fantastic, according to Gary. He's involved in that production and has been for a while. And his great organization, helping veterans, helping wounded veterans and their families. Just donate. It's a fantastic organization. And he's a great, you talk about great human beings.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
And fun. He shared a great memory about bringing a hitchhiker to Milwaukee and getting in trouble at his job. So.
Yeah, I encourage you to listen to the interview because it was a long one. It was like a half hour long, but it's fun. And share it. Wherever you share things, share it. People will enjoy the interview. And we have this running competition. I want that to be the number one thing people view on WTM or listen to on WTMJ this week.
Get in on it. Gary at 855-616-1620. Text the word Gary.
Interesting question from Jim in Milwaukee, something that I have some strong feelings on. Hi, Jim.
Hi. So I've been going by there 5 days a week on the way to work, and the parking right on College Avenue, it turns into a campground. And now this morning when I went by, there's always campers there, which I thought was kind of odd. But this morning, there's even a tent set up. And I'm thinking, what, is this the Milwaukee new campground I'm not aware of?
It's funny.
Do they allow this? Is this legal?
Well, that question, I don't have an answer. I'll let you hang up and listen to the answer, Jim. I noticed this that was our departure point for our trip. So we pull into the College Avenue southwest lot, south of College Avenue on the west side of the freeway. And I noticed like a dozen tents that are set up on the perimeter of that lot. I think that's county property. It's either that or state. Mm-hmm. And I was not aware of that until I actually parked there waiting for our bus pickup, that it turned into like a tent city. Garbage piled up like you would not believe in the garbage areas because the garbage cans were filled up a long time ago. People wandering around in a state of, I'm trying to put this the nicest way, just not clean. I'm not sure that some of them were even full control of their faculties. So that was going on. I'm going to get to the bottom of this because I actually sent it to the news department. I'm not sure what's happening here. Now, maybe it's the push out of Milwaukee proper and moving these folks away from underneath freeway overpasses. This is the new location. It's not appropriate. I think it's a safety issue for folks who are parking their vehicles there, not only just for their own safety, but for their vehicles' protection. I'm not sure those people are going to break into those cars, and I don't like it. So for all the news people out there, TV, radio, including WTMJ, let's dig into the story because it's not just happening at college. Holt Avenue, apparently the same thing, South Side, the park and ride. I don't know when this started because I only noticed it on the 8th of September when we were leaving. I don't like it, and I think we need to look into this because I think it's dangerous.
Well, look into it and find out if people need help.
Yeah, if that's the case, help them. Get them on. It's not a place where people should be congregating or certainly not living. There's no water there. So I would assume they have to go off-site to find water, and knowing College Avenue a little bit, those locations are not close to that parking lot. So let's dig into that. Let's find out what's going on, and I'd like to see some reporting on that. We'll take a break. Ask us anything. What's your question? Lots of calls. I'm going to get to the text line because we have a ton of questions there as well. Sandy and Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. There's no better green and gold insider than from the man who wore the green and gold himself, Bart Tauscher.
The thing you hear all through training camp, if you're an undrafted free agent or a late pick, is, hey, you're trying out for our team, but you're also putting film up there for the other 31.
Bart Tauscher is our green and gold insider every Wednesday at 4:15 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
I like his moxie. You know what? We're going to keep him on the 53.
Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave. Don't treat yourself like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Disability Rights Wisconsin's Medicare Part D helpline is here to help disabled or elderly Medicare beneficiaries with questions about their Part D prescription benefit. The Part D helpline may be able to help you save money on your Part D premium, deductible, and copays. Medicare annual open enrollment period runs October 15th through December 7th. For free, unbiased assistance, please call the Disability Rights Wisconsin Medicare Part D helpline any time of the year at 1-800-926-4862. 1-800-926-4862. Do
you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
It's WTMJ Now.
Thanks for taking the time to ask us the questions and ask us anything. Let's see. From the Old National Bank talk and text line, the text side of things, we had plenty of phone calls as well. Somebody asked a gardening question. I got to find it now. Oh, it's like the decision making when how much is too much to plant. I get this question a lot. So if you can't maintain it, don't plant it. So plant what you're comfortable with. You don't. Here's the thing.
Yeah, but you don't know that everything's going to grow, right?
Yeah, you don't. But if you take care of it, it usually does. And I've had great luck with over the years. And I've told the story. This is my last year of my really big garden. And I'm sad about that because I went out there last night and I hadn't been there in like a week and a half. And I realized probably one of the next few times I'm going there, I'm going to start removing some of the plants, cleaning it up. Mm-hmm. The owner of the land is actually going to keep it as a small garden when he builds his big house out there. My friend Brian, who owns the land. But, you know, my daughter made this mistake. My youngest daughter, Chrissy. She bought one of those really cool planter boxes, the raised ones.
Yeah.
Keep the animals out of it.
Exactly.
You don't have to bend over and weed and all that stuff. And she planted
I was tempted by that.
Yeah, they're awesome. But she planted like 18 tomato plants in a 3-foot box. And now this thing is like alive. It's so big You don't need like
cascading tomatoes.
Really, 2 plants won't do it in a 3-foot section. Like one every foot and a half. So,
some is good, more is better sometimes.
Yeah.
Not in this case.
I mean, I've had 300 tomato plants, but that's spread out over a half acre. I'm not jamming them into a little 10 by 10 plot. So I guess that's one of the big things. Here's the thing: do it if you love doing it. Now, somebody always gives me grief about when I talk about the garden. I can just go to the store and buy what I want. I'll tell you this. There's not a tomato in a store in Wisconsin that I would spend any money on. I literally don't eat tomatoes unless I grow them. That's either canned or fresh. I don't like them. I think they've been stored too long. They're often picked when they're not ripe. No interest. They taste horrible.
Well, they're not going to be as fresh as the one that you pick right out of your garden and cut open on your countertop, because those produce items in the grocery store have to travel, have to get to you.
I get it.
So they're not ever going to be as fresh as the ones that you pick in your own garden.
I went to pick those tomatoes because my wife, Kathy, goes, it'd be great to have a fresh tomato. So I went and picked them after our long walk, 3 miles yesterday.
And that's all she has to say. I love that that's the phrase. Well, it'd be great to have a fresh tomato, wouldn't it?
She wasn't going to shag those tomatoes. I went. And I picked her tomatoes. And later in the evening, she sliced one and says, you got to smell this. And she goes, I think your tomatoes were better than the tomatoes we had in Italy. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And I smelled them. You know what? She was right. A Sandy
There's
question.
a pride point.
Sandy question on the old National Bank talk and text line phone version. All right, Sam, what's your question?
Hi.
Hi.
Sam.
I just wanted to ask, okay, so I'm like 55 and trying to decide what I'd like to do with the rest of my life. And I got kids leaving the nest and such, but I wanted to know, Sandy, is it hard for women to break into radio even at my age?
Yes. I'm not even going to candy coat it, but it is not impossible. But it's not. It's not. This is what you want to do. First of all, email me, sandy@WTMJ.com. I will be glad to make some suggestions. If you're willing, I would say it's going to be old school. It's kind of what I did. If networking, and if there used to be unpaid internships back in the day when I was in college, and I'll tell you what an unpaid internship does. It weeds out the riffraff. I mean, I loved radio so much that I did filed folders. I alphabetized albums in the prize closet, which I loved. I ran the boards. I did everything at 93 QFM, the rock station at 6th in Wisconsin, while I was still in college, because I wanted to be in radio and I wanted to meet people and learn the ropes. And I still loved it, even doing all that unpaid. And I did not have to get coffee or dry cleaning for anyone, thank God. But I would suggest, I would say this probably for anyone who's looking to kind of change careers. You always hear about informational interviews. Meet people in the business that you want to be in and find out if it's for you. And also, obviously, accept the idea that you're going to be entry level at that new industry. So you're not going to make a mint of money, but I love that you're interested in it. You've got passion. You have a good radio voice. We've just heard it,
yes.
Sam. And
voice.
if you're interested,
thank you.
But yeah, pop me an email, sandy@WTMJ.com, and we could sidebar on this, and I'd be glad to suggest some websites to look at. And like I said, I encourage anyone who's in their 50s or 60s or 40s or whatever age you're looking for a different career, jump on it. We're at the end of a year, looking into the next year. This is a great time to evaluate and reevaluate what you want to do and can do.
And Sam, I will tell you this, GKB, who was the company that we work for here, the 3 stations, The Truth, 94.5, and of course WTMJ, the flagship of the Bucks and the Brewers. There's always job openings, including producer openings and some other jobs that are related to the broadcast side of things. So check that out, and definitely take Sandy up on a great idea. Just network. Talk to someone who's actually, and Sandy has done a lot in radio. I mean, you downplay, you drop like the XRTs and the QFMs. You've done some big stuff.
I'll just say since the 90s, but but yeah, I've worked behind the scenes and on camera and on the microphone, so I have some experience that I'm glad to share. I'm glad to lend a hand and help out.
And here's the other thing, Sam. I started doing radio when I was in my 50s, so you're the same age that you were 55, I think, at the beginning. So there is time. Yes,
that's what I mean. So I'm going to be encouraging, but there was no way I was going to dance around and go, oh, it's a cakewalk.
Yeah.
No.
Walk right in the door. Let's hire you. Put on some headphones.
I wanted to do this when I was getting out of high school. There was a broadcasting school up in Wausau at the time. But, got married, had life, that kind of thing. So that didn't happen. But I'm just excited about the possibility of maybe getting back into it.
Yeah.
This could be your time to shine.
Good
I
luck
love
to
it.
you, Sam, and thanks for the call. I love those kind of calls. That's just the best. Let's squeeze Mike in from the Northwest side. Hi, Mike. Ask us anything.
Hi, good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
My question, or asking for your opinion, the United Auto Workers are striking, and they're asking for exorbitant benefits. And are they trying to bankrupt the car manufacturers in the United States, give way to import cars that are going to be a little bit less cost and just as good a car probably? And, my thought is that pigs get fed and hogs get slaughtered. What are your thoughts?
All right, let you hang up and listen to your answer.
Oh, I was curious to find out what he thought was exorbitant, because I think out of context, asking for a 40% raise sounds whoa, but that's 40% over 4 years, and it is in response to the amount of pay raise that CEOs got. So I would just caution that, but I do agree that there could be an unintended consequence of penalizing American car dealers and car manufacturers, that people may not choose that option because it'll become much more expensive than foreign cars.
Yeah, and I'll separate out the CEO pay. I've already talked about that. It's ridiculous when you see the comparisons between CEO pay. They're making too much money, and often for not even being productive CEOs. They're making too much money for being bad CEOs, and that has to change. On this issue, it's pay. Obviously, Sandy mentioned the number. Days off, cost of living adjustments. Here's why this matters. The car companies, I think, are on tenuous ground. They've been asked to really go full-fledged into EVs, electric vehicles. That's a risky proposition right now. There's been some acceptance, but mandates and all the other rules that states like California and some other places are putting in place, that's a tough transition. So when you're asking as an employee to bleed, my term, more money out of a company that's, I would say, a little worried about the future, that's problematic. And look, I don't have a great opinion of unions because I got delayed on my trip because of a air traffic control strike in France. So my opinion of unions right now is not the strongest it's been. I understand why they're there. I understand why they're necessary. I would call these asks a little out of whack, but we shall see how that plays out. Are they trying to destroy their automakers? Boy, that would be a little counterproductive, because you destroy the automakers, you have no job and no income.
And isn't this why I don't love negotiation anyway? Don't you kind of have to go from one extreme to the other to get to the compromise? So maybe this isn't exactly, do you ask too much knowing that you're going to have to settle somewhere in the middle? Yeah. And I never like that, especially in jobs, because I've heard the stories of people who went in and went, I want twice my pay, thinking that was going to be the starting point, and they've been told, well, that's never going to happen. See you later.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. I'm hoping there's compromise sooner than later for the sake of our economy.
Yeah, and as a fan of American autos and trucks, I'd like to see them succeed.
And being able to get parts and being able to have the used car market not skyrocket as well.
All right, ask us anything. We'll continue that conversation. Your questions, phone or text 855-616-1620 after this.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
You're just going to have to live with it. That's what I told myself. And if you can believe it, that's what the doctors told me.
Since Andy was a boy, he had health issues, which later we would find were primarily due to his trouble breathing. So for 36 years, Andy lived with about 85% blockage in his nose. He had to breathe through his mouth because when he tried to breathe through his nose, it felt like he was being suffocated. It affected his sleep, his work life, and his ability to play sports. And he wasn't going to let it ruin his life anymore. So he came to Advent. As bad as it was, his problem required a simple solution. In-office balloon sinuplasty and turbinate reduction. Procedures you won't find offered by big box healthcare. This is Dr. Madan Kandula. It's definitely possible that your nasal breathing problems have a simple solution too. You can hear Andy's story in his own words at adventknowsandy.com and begin on your path to breathing well and living better.
Results may vary.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. We are following a situation right now in West Allis, at the Starbucks near Highway 100 and Orchard. Paramedics on scene right now, as it appears a blue SUV has driven into the Starbucks at Highway 100 and Orchard. Paramedics on scene. Appears that people are being attended to right now. Few other details about the situation at this time. It's a developing story that we will be keeping a close eye on and have more details coming up in the 12 o'clock news here on WTMJ.
WTMJ Now.
Thank you, Adam Roberts. We'll stay on that story. Yeah, you never want to hear those kind of stories because you don't know the impact of someone just casually eating a cup or drinking a cup of coffee. Also, there's a vehicle in the premises.
Well, especially here at lunchtime as well, where there may have been a little more populated. So glad to hear that. Glad to hear that our WTMJ newsroom is on top of it, and we'll get an update at noon.
All right, Brian from Jackson on the old National Bank Talk and Text line as we move through our questions for Ask Us Anything. We are moving into a new house. The people that had the house before us had a tree removed in the front yard. The stump is gone, but now they can't grow grass there. Any suggestions? Yeah, move. First of all, hopefully the stump is gone. Okay, remove all the wood chips. Put fresh dirt in there. Seed it. And put some mulch, straw or hay on top of it.
Oh, we need the straw and hay? Is that key?
Yeah, because it allows for the seed to germinate and grow. And you only have a limited time here because it's going to get cold pretty soon. If you do all that stuff, make sure that the soil is compressed but not over compressed. You don't want like a hard surface. And mix the seed up in the soil, then cover it with hay, and then you should have some good results. Because now it's raining every day now, so we should get some good water. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the case when I left for Italy. Apparently the weather has changed.
So the hay is key.
Just because it gives shade to the seed.
Okay.
Like the bright sun just burns out seed or birds eat it. So it's a way of protecting the seed as well. What else? Let's see here. Okay. It's just a nice comment. They love the show. Thanks for loving the show. Let's see. Gianni. I haven't talked to Gianni in a while. Welcome, Gianni from Montello. Haven't heard your lovely voice in a while.
But I've heard yours, and I enjoy your show, Steve.
Thank you, man.
Listen.
Appreciate it.
Hey, listen, tell me where my reasoning is flawed.
This should be fun.
Hey, listen, what my boss makes, what the CEO of my company...
Hold on, Johnny. Johnny, your phone is...
You're breaking up
Chop
there.
it up. Do you have a direct question?
There you go. All right, sounds a little clearer.
What my CEO makes, my employer, has no bearing on or no relation to what I make on the floor. I entered into a contract to be paid a certain hourly wage, and that's it. So I think the UAW strike is hypocritical. Number two, are the UAW, are they killing the golden goose? Because next year when I buy a car, it's probably going to be made by someone other than a UAW worker. Am I flawed in my reasoning?
No, I mean, Johnny, thanks for the call, and I'm glad we could hear that question. Look, that's a tough one. The CEO pay, it's not absolute. There are CEOs that deserve to be very well paid. And I would argue in cases where companies are very productive, make a lot of money, have record profits, absolutely pay the CEO as much as you want to. Where I get a little bent is when I see companies that aren't making money, are losing money, often going bankrupt, and their CEOs continue to draw money out of those companies. So
I don't ever hear about a raise freeze for CEOs very often, and we're talking millions of dollars. And yeah, if you're going to justify that we can't pay the employees more, but we could still give other people raises to the tune of millions, that does seem to be a discrepancy to me. I understand that, yes, I got hired at this rate, but, not getting raises, not even getting cost of living raises, I think that is not appreciative of the value of a worker who shows up every day and creates the product that you're selling.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. You won't hear this on any other station probably in this town or elsewhere. There's a difference in how companies treat their employees than it used to be. Employee was treasured in the past. Pensions were a thing. Now it's 401ks. It's all on the employee. The other piece of that is it's become more about shareholders than customers and employees. This overvaluation of shareholders, those who own shares of the company, has completely been oversold to the fact that employees and customers are often a second thought. And I understand that's controversial to some people because shareholders matter too. They've invested in the company. I get it. But so have employees. So have customers. Regular folks who show up and buy their product or service. So overvaluing one over the other has led to some issues when it comes to pay, family supporting jobs. Look, there could be 1 million entry-level jobs, and there are in this country that are open. It's those family supporting jobs, or maybe both people in the household don't have to work if there's one job that pays the bills. These are things we should be thinking about. It's not just about shareholders.
And we're talking about the eventuality of likely having more expensive cars, whether they're U.S. produced or foreign produced. So that cost is being passed along to us. That's still not denting the profits for the shareholders. They're passing along all that cost to the people who want to buy those cars, or I need a part for my this Trust me, I do. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it or how expensive it's going to be in 2 months when I was able to finally schedule my body work done. So this is going to affect all of us, and I don't think it should affect the consumers as much as it's going to. And Gianni also mentioned, foreign cars and UAW workers. It is a hornet's nest of U.S. workers producing foreign cars and foreign cars being produced. But, it's not all cut and dried like, okay, a Ford is only produced here in the States.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
but also
that's evolved.
The point about, whether you're going to go to buy a foreign-made vehicle or domestic, I'm going to always almost choose the domestic option because I want to keep American workers employed. I like the fact that we can do things here, and hopefully we do more of that in the future. Quick break. Ask us anything.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Here's a penny for your thoughts. There's about 11,000 tire-related crashes every year.
Mostly due to driving around on underinflated, beat-up, worn-out tires with low tread.
A couple of clicks at richlawns.com will get you scheduled for a free tire tread test.
But if you're pressed for time, there's an old trick we use in the tire industry that'll tell you if you need tires.
And that's free, too.
My dad showed me, who learned it from his dad, who learned it from someone else way back in 1964.
Ah, yes. The old penny test.
Yep, just place a penny head first.
As in upside down.
Into the groove of your tire. Now, if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, you're due for tires.
And hey, if the free penny test frazzles you, book an appointment at richlawns.com.
If your tires are good,
no harm, no foul, because it won't cost you a penny. Be safe, buckle up, and hang. Always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're
due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Brian Z. Football, family, back to school. Can you believe it? Fall is already upon us. You're going to be out and about this fall season. Apple picking, tailgating. Make sure you have your best smile on display. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Whether it's a simple cleaning and exam, a more complex dental procedure, a teeth whitening and implants, Dr. Michaels and the staff at Oconomowoc Dental Care are going to take great care of you and make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair. How do I know? He's my dentist. He's going to take the same great care of you as he does to me. And don't stress over cash. The friendly and caring team at Oconomowoc Dental Care can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. Get those pearly whites looking right as summer turns to fall. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off 1 second longer. Call his friendly and caring team today and set up an appointment. Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
WTMJ Now.
All right, one more quick question on Ask Us Anything, Sandy and Steve, WTMJ Now. Since you have a strong, this is from Mike in Heartland, a strong Italian heritage, how far back have you gotten in your family tree that you know of? Just a couple generations back. It's an area that I want to explore, and you know, I've said this on the air. One of the ideas that we've been talking about is spending some time in Sicily every year in the winter once I'm away from radio and retired. And I will definitely dig in because that's where my dad's side, that's where they were from. They were farmers in Sicily and olive oil growers, those trees and the obviously tomatoes. So that's something I want to look into.
And your adventures in Italy, I know you just got back, but you weren't in that area. Have you gone to that Sicily area yet?
Yeah, we were in Sicily in January of this year. So
fun.
Yeah, so it's something I want to do, but I only go a couple generations back. But I know there's history there because I have relatives alive in Sicily that know the history more than I do. And they're still living there. So, we'll tap in. I'm hoping they find us a nice place that we can rent for a month or two.
How did you tap into your genealogy? Did you do a DNA test?
Yes.
DNA,
wow. Yep. 23andMe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that's where that side of the family's from. They're pretty strong connections to that area. So
that would be fun to reunite with your family, I think. Unless you watched The White Lotus season 2.
I did watch that. Yeah, doesn't always work out the way I wanted to.
Where they showed up at the family's house and were not welcomed.
You know, we saw the city of Taormina because we were right above it in Suvacco where they filmed The Godfather, and 30 miles west is where my family's from, of that area. So we got to see all of that, which is fantastic and gorgeous.
How lovely. My dad always wanted to look into his family tree and never really did.
Yeah.
He kind of poked him. He was doing it before all the DNA tests became popular, but kind of curious. Polish heritage on our side.
It's the great use of technology now. We can find out the answers to that question. We'll take a break here, and then Jeff Wagner will tell us what he's going to talk about after this on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
Senior political reporter from TMJ4 News, Charles Benson.
You got a sense of, how Milwaukee was enthusiastic about this convention.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com or text RNC to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620 and get a link sent